Mr. Prime Time.
The thumbnail for this show is a Jets face mask penalty.
Are you criticizing my artwork?
No, I'm just saying that accurately sums up what this show is probably going to be about tonight.
No, because you gotta listen, man. We're Jets fans, and our fearless leader Adam Gase has all the pieces of his puzzle coming back now. So now our beautiful masterpiece, minus Le'Veon Bell, who's probably your best receiver,
of course,
our beautiful masterpiece is all coming to fruition now. Now we're going to see magic.
Don't start selling me on that shit.
Tell you, man. This is it. This is all part of the master plan now.
I will say for one thing, I'm actually excited for this game just to watch Sam and, see Mims for the first time, getting Becton back, not hopefully watching Frank Gore see 15 carries, but, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, so I guess what we'll do is, first of all, welcome everybody that's joining us. Thank you for everybody that's been watching all our videos, listening to our show on Tuesday nights and everything else. We definitely appreciate it. And I guess what we'll do is start out with just the injury report. And two of the biggest problems over the last couple of weeks is that we didn't have a chance to see Sam Darnold or Mekhi Becton play. Yep. As of today, as of now, they're both playing. And I guess we'll start with Sam Darnold first is, if he's healthy, do you have any concerns that Adam Gase will be ultra conservative with him, trying to protect him? Because Alex Lewis could be out, Fant's banged up. Are you concerned about that at all?
Not really. I mean, the only concern would be, like you said, with the offensive line. But, this would be ideally the time to kind of open things up a little bit. You're finally getting your wide receivers back. I know Crowder's a little bit nicked up with the groin injury, but you're getting Mims back. Perriman should be out there. This is the time to open things up. You got 10 games to evaluate Sam. I'm sure at some point tonight we'll get into that debate again. But, yeah, I mean, this is the time to see what you have in him. I know the Adam Gase offense is not ideal to evaluate him, but it's what we're working with at this point. So open things up, let the kids sling it and see what we got.
Yeah, I mean, you think about it. You got Vincent Smith, Denzel Mims, and the comment today just drove me off the rails. Where
Which
it was like, oh, well, when he said, well, he looked like he's kind of healthy, but we gotta look through our roster first and see how we can navigate the roster.
Yep.
I'm like, don't act like this is like a talent laden roster. We're like, oh, we can't really bench anybody for Denzel Mims. Like, don't make excuses, man.
And it's a second round pick too. I mean,
yeah, like he's got to be on the field, dude. Like that's just like don't even play games. You're not fooling anybody. The Bills expect him. Get him on the field. But, it's like, so for me, the most important thing is obviously you hope Sam is healthy enough to play and he's not trying to be a hero and, by saying, what, I'm going to fight through an injury and he's kind of limited or he can't, hopefully he's at full capacity, coming off an injury. Hopefully Adam Gase lets him play. Like, I don't want to see like an ultra conservative game plan because that's the way you're going to handle Sam Darnold. That don't play him. Like, if you're scared, you're scared he's going to get hurt further, he shouldn't be in the game. Open your playbook up now. If he's playing, he should be able to play full speed, all assets.
No, listen, I completely agree with that. You put him back out there the same night that he got injured. So if he was able to go back out there and, still throw the ball around 2 weeks later, more than 2 weeks later, because that was the Thursday night game, ideally you would think he's healed up at least enough to, throw the ball out. And again, if he was practicing back-to-back days without, any kind of pain or anything like that, then yeah, let him sling it.
Yeah, so the first thing is getting Darnold back actually makes the game watchable. I'm like, if there was another Flacco Gore thing, like our live stream would be a mess. I'd probably be hammered before kickoff.
Yep.
Now there's a reason to actually watch the game because now you have two potential pieces for next year and Darnold and Becton that you want to watch. That's a good piece.
Yeah.
Becton coming back is awesome, but the only thing about him is, what is his issue was, does he have enough strength, like strength in his shoulder, things like that. I don't want to see him at 60 or 70% either. Like the one thing that concerns me about the Jets is that they seem to side with the players here, where it's like, oh, well, the player wanted to come back in. We saw it with Mosley last year, where they thought with Bell, they put Bell back in. We saw it with Becton and Darnold earlier this year. Like, you want to make sure these guys
McClendon also.
I mean, what are we doing? Like, I just don't understand. But so you want to see Becton. Hopefully, he's like 85, 90%, where he can use his size and power, which is what the strength of his game right now.
Yeah, the Becton injury actually worries me a little bit more because that was an injury that they said. Or they had him as the backup, where he shouldn't have even been dressed to begin with. They got him injured worse. So you really wonder with that, like, how much is he healed? Can he still injure it worse at this point? Is he a rookie that just wants to get back out there? I know he had a quote today, he feels like a kid in a candy store again, being able to, get back out on the field. So yeah, I mean, ideally you'd like to see what he could do, but you also worry, like, is Gase or Joe Douglas not doing the right thing here, trying to force him back out there or allowing him to play when he's not 100%? That's what you worry about.
Yeah, because right now the vultures are circling where there's so much pressure on Gase right now and its organization to be competitive. Like they have not been competitive all year long at this point. They're getting blown out week in, week out. They're a laughing stock, they're a joke. And now it's like, all right, now are they trying to like push guys along and say, listen, we got to be more competitive because we can't take the pressure anymore? Or are they being smart as an organization? And the word smart and Jets never really go together lately. Yeah. So like I'm not really trusting that, but we'll see. Like we'll see because we'll know within 5 or 10 snaps what the deal is. Like when we saw CJ Mosley last year when they brought him back, he was limping coming out of the locker room. I'm like, so we knew, right? Like, dude, we talked about it. I'm like, dude, you should be on the field. I'm like, take him out immediately. This isn't worth it. You're not playing for a playoff spot. You're not playing for a Super Bowl. You're running out the stretch now in week 7. So like, don't force Becton back and don't force Darnold back. So right now we're going to give the benefit of the doubt, which I don't like doing ever, but I have concerns with both of them still.
Yeah, and I also think to a certain degree, they might try to push him along with 2 other guys out. With Alex Lewis banged up, George Fant had the knee issue, I think it was yesterday in practice, another guy going down in practice, which again, I'll never explain how we get so many injuries in fucking practice. But yeah, I think that if Sam was going to play, you don't want him back there with, 3 backup offensive linemen because we've seen that story before and it usually doesn't end well.
Yeah, so you have Vincent Smith back, which was back last week. Crowder's banged up, which is a concern, but I mean, if you're on offense, getting Denzel Mims back is just huge. And the problem you have is, we've mentioned this the last 3 weeks, is the expectations for him are enormous when you see the rest of the NFL all flourishing, all these other rookies flourishing, all these young players, doing great things. But the problem we got to keep in mind is that this kid had absolutely no training camp at all. Like he's been hurt the entire time in terms of chemistry, understanding offense, understanding what kind of coverage he's facing in Buffalo. Like, dude, he's going to be in over his head. So hopefully Adam Gase, which again, I've clearly been drinking, Adam Gase has a plan for Mims where it's like, listen, some go routes, some quick slants, let him get comfortable, let him get his feet underneath him. Don't give him 40 snaps, like work him in smart, like put him in a position to succeed, man. Like don't ruin his kid's confidence week 1. And then they say, oh, well, his body language, I had to take him out like you did with Pirine. Dude, this live stream will go right to shit.
Well, I was going to say, as long as physically he's ready to go, I don't see any reason why they should limit him at this point. He's had 6 weeks to learn the playbook. So I agree with you. He didn't have a training camp, kind of puts him against the 8 ball a little bit. He was coming from Baylor where he didn't really have an expanded route tree. So I think to a certain extent he was a project already. But if he's 100%, who else are we throwing the ball to? Let's see what we have here. Let's see if he can get some chemistry with Sam down, the stretch of these last 10 games. Let's see what the kid can do.
Yeah, so that's interesting in terms of injuries. Now, I mean, we've criticized Mr. Joe Douglas for his handling of kickers, and he's been lucky with Ficken because Ficken's actually been very good. But unfortunately, Ficken's not playing on Sunday because now he's hurt. I mean, this team just finds ways that everybody's getting hurt now. So now, are you ready for Sergio Castillo to kick against the Buffalo Bills, an XFL CFL kicker?
I mean, what can go wrong, right?
Yeah, I mean, you know what the Jets' luck is? This will be the first game they're in, and it'll come down to like 2 field goals, and they'll probably shank both of them, and they'll be like, oh, well, whatever. So in terms of that, the Jets' injuries, they have the offensive line could be a concern with those guys out, but getting all these pieces back on offense, in terms of just, watching the game and trying to enjoy maybe something possibly competitive, especially when the Buffalo Bills defense has been kind of shaky the last few weeks, that's a positive. On defense, I mean, there's not really a lot to really talk about on defense. I mean, they're just, you want to see more Ashton Davis. Hopefully, Bless Austin's healthier. You want to see a lot more of these young guys playing. Will Zuniga play? More Bryce Huff? I mean, Steve McClendon's gone. So there's that. I mean, do we want to touch this subject? Because
I know you do.
I don't understand it. Like, I truly do not understand. Like, Joe Douglas is becoming the player's GM. Le'Veon Bell wanted out. You know what? We'll release you, and we're just going to let you go wherever you want. Steve McClendon, we're going to trade you. But he wanted to play the game, so let's play you then. To me, it's just weird because like if you have a trade in place, even if it's a 6th round pick or whatever it is, why would you let the player actually go on the field and risk injury where you don't get that value that you needed?
Well, for two reasons why I agree with you here. The 6th round pick, obviously, you don't want to lose that if he gets hurt, but then also the money. If he gets injured, you're tied to, the rest of his contract for the year. So why would you want to be on the hook for that in an 0-6 year where you're not playing for anything? He's a veteran. He's not part of your future. You have a chance to get a 6th round pick back. Why risk that?
Yeah, I don't understand. Like, I just didn't make any sense to me. Like, well, this is what he wanted. Well, you know what? I want a lot of things too.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, this is a business. You act like a professional organization. Like, well, the Jets owed it to him. What the hell do we owe it? Like, listen, he's been a great leader. All this, but newsflash, our defense has sucked this year. So whatever leadership he's bringing to the table, the defense still been horrendous. Defensive line's still been horrible. The run defense is still terrible. Like, you did a good job. You know how we're doing you a favor? We sent you to a Super Bowl contender.
Yeah.
That's the favor we're doing for you. We're not going to let you play a game because you feel like it. Yeah. Like, that's just some comedy hour shit right there. Like, it's just, I don't understand how the way Jets handle things, man. I don't understand it.
I was just going to say the same thing. If they owed him anything, it was a chance to go play for a winner. He's a veteran. He's won before with the Steelers. Let him get one last chance to go play for a ring with a good team in the Bucs and not sit here through this shit. But the fact that they dressed him and played him with a deal in place, I'll never understand that. Yeah,
so then you look at the Buffalo's got a lot of injuries too, man. They're all banged up. John Brown's out. Their offensive line's been all shaked up. Maybe some Brian Winters. So they definitely have some injuries. Matt Milano's questionable. Trey White's questionable. So
Norman's out also.
Yeah, so Josh Norman. Good, but I mean that's still, it's like they're those guys are out, and we have all, in theory, our weapons are all coming back because now we're the high-powered Jets here with Adam Gase. But it's an interesting matchup. I think if the Bills didn't lose 2 in a row, I would have been like, all right, maybe the Jets can keep this really competitive and find a way to make this really interesting in the fourth quarter. Yeah. But they've lost 2 in a row. They're probably angry as shit. And this is a game they have to win, just get back on track for a variety of reasons, for the conference, for the division, for everything, man. Like, this is kind of like a get well game for them, I think. So I don't think you're going to get a half-ass effort from them.
Yeah, I think the 2 losses, even though they were against good teams, is probably going to refocus them under normal circumstances. Yeah, after what happened week 1 where they should have put 50 points, you probably maybe get overlooked a little bit. You're an 0-5 team. The spread started out at 13.5. It's actually down to 10.5, which I'm a little bit surprised about. Shows a lot of money's coming on the Jets. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, we're buying in. We got our pieces back. Gase has got his weapons back. And then you look at, you try to look at week 1 is hard to analyze because there's so much things that went into it. There was no preseason. There were so many unknowns. Teams are just getting their feet underneath them, all the chemistry, stuff like that. The Bills should have blown us out of the building. The 27-17 score is not a reflection of the game. The 2 Josh Allen fumbles kept them in the game, so it wasn't really a reflection. So it's hard to say, some of these comments, man, these guys, I got to block this dude because he's just cursing like crazy on our comments. It's just, it's hard to really say what is week 1 going to anything kind of mimic this week. I'm going to say no. They're completely 2 different teams at this point in terms of the Jets are down and out. What kind of effort are you going to get from them? Are they going to rally around the fact that Mims is playing and Perriman's back and Becton's back? Becton's kind of an emotional leader offense. Are they going to rally around them?
Well, a reason you might get some effort is because guys sense that there's a fire sale going on, and that could be their ticket out. So guys like Marcus May, Jordan Jenkins.
For all we know, half of them are traded right now. They're allowed to play this week.
That too. So, yeah, I mean, a lot of these guys might not be part of the future on the last year of their contracts or, glorified 3-year deals, 1-year option. Maybe some of those you can trade potentially. So, yeah, I think there's a lot of pieces potentially that could still be moved for, some late round picks. And I think that could actually motivate some players.
Yeah, so it's going to be fascinating to see what kind of energy's on the field. Like I said, like Becton is kind of like a fiery dude on offense. Maybe all these guys coming back will kind of give, and having Sam back will give them some life on the offense where they can actually get a spirited effort. Then it comes down to play calling on Gase, which is, whatever. And then, the Bills, if you look at their defense has been struggling, but their offense, even with John Brown out and a kind of questionable offensive line, their speed and their ability to just, with Josh Allen to do things, man, and his versatility, his arm, he had 300 yards the first game, but like they're doing a lot of good things on offense. And on defense, we don't have guys to match up with them. Like Marcus May played very well, weeks ago. He's been pretty much invisible. McDougald sucks. You have all the I just don't understand. Like if you look at the game as a whole, like you could say maybe with a couple more of these, maybe our offense can do some things. They score 17 points, but I don't see how our defense does anything. I just don't see it.
Probably not, but even in the first game, like you said, they forced a couple fumbles. That was not even arguably, that was Marcus May's best game of the year. He had the 2 sacks, I think 9 tackles that game, so he looked good. So yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing was that they just didn't tackle in that game. The Bills were marching down the field because everybody was arm tackling. Guys looked tired, lethargic, whatever it was, by the second half. And even in the first half, I mean, it was just wide open holes, guys untouched. And so, yeah, I mean, if you could wrap up, kind of have that front 7 that you had last year, I think you could be in the game.
So prime time, I didn't tell you that I did this, but I did this. We'll go to comments. Everybody, after our live stream, everybody kept mentioning the super fan things. The super fan, add super fan comments to our thing. I had no idea what it was because I don't know how to do half this shit, to be honest with you. Yeah. So I had to look it up. And then like a YouTube, they give you a chance to add this super fan thing, which I'm like, all right, cool, I'll add it. I have no idea what happened. So we got our first one. And what it does is people can donate money to us. So if you guys happen to donate any money to us, it's going to go to our beer fund and our seltzer fund because to help us get through these live streams that are 4.5 hours long. So we got our first one, which is, why don't you guys air the Tuesday show live on YouTube? That's a good question. Why don't we do? I don't know how to do it. That's the problem.
Is there a way to like? I know we can't hook up Blog Talk with what we use here, but I wonder if there's a way to just kind of like do this while on the phone, still doing the Blog Talk. I don't know. Yeah,
our challenge is the foundation of our show is initially a radio call-in show. Like we were taking calls for 3 hours every Tuesday and on Friday. So it's a lot of fun. It's a lot different environment. It's pretty crazy sometimes.
Yeah.
So we don't know how to translate that. And everybody say, well, go try to go YouTube live and hear and stuff. And I have no idea how to do any of that. Like when it comes to me and technology, the fact that I get this banner going across the bottom like this is a miracle for me. So our answer is I don't know. I don't know how to take calls on YouTube.
Just the fact that we're doing this, I figured let's not push it, but
I mean, if you guys have ideas or if you guys want to email us, talkjetsradio@gmail.com, if you guys can help us figure out how to do it, we can definitely try to do it.
Yeah.
The other thing too is on our radio show on Tuesdays, we give people a pretty long period of time to talk and stuff like that. So in this forum, we can go through 30, 40, 50 comments a live stream where our radio show is like, 10, 12, 15 callers maybe. So
yeah, and that would probably be another challenge, trying to like monitor all the comments and like address all those while dealing with, the fans and everybody that's calling in. It'd probably be a little hectic, but.
So thank you for the super fan thing. I don't know how to even do this. We were kind of saying like, the donations are cool. I mean, we're drinking seltzers like crazy. Now Primetime is going to have you got to get a seltzer sponsorship sooner or later, man.
Seriously, right? I'm waiting. So Truly, Coors Seltzer, Bud Seltzer, whatever, man.
I drank cider, boys. So the other thing, before we go, we can do some more game analysis. We'll go through the questions here. The most important facet of tonight that I want to talk about is Jets Bingo. Yeah, I mean, that's going to be getting us through this live stream because the game goes south. There's something to go for. Did you update the bingo chart?
So I didn't update it yet, but hold on.
You're the Adam Gase of Jets Bingo.
I wanted to give all the viewers an opportunity to help us create the bingo board. So I figured a lot of the ones that hit last week, the obvious ones of, Gore touching the ball, showing Adam Gase on the sideline sitting by himself, all those things we know are going to happen. I'll probably put them in again just because we want to drink during the game. But, we have about 10 spots that we can kind of change every week. So any creative ideas that you guys have, leave them in the comments and I'll throw it in and we'll post it before the game.
Yeah. So what we'll do is we'll do like 10 minutes before the game starts. We'll go live. And we'll go over to bingo board. And what we got to do is we got to make sure we put the board somewhere where everybody can see it.
Yep.
So maybe you got to put it on our Instagram page. We're at Talk Jets Radio on Instagram, at Talk Jets Radio Twitter. We'll put it everywhere so everybody can see it. And then what can go wrong? I mean, look how great last Sunday went.
Yeah, we had
a hangover on Monday.
We had about 4 different bingos.
Dude, the first down running plays, man, that was
that killed you. That killed you.
Dude.
And then the shotgun killed me.
So we'll go to some questions. We'll do some more preview of this. Obviously, if you watch our show, we don't take things ultra seriously because the Jets are still 0-6, and I don't have a lot of faith in this team. So, we got another super fan thing. I don't even know how to look it up. Like I don't know what we're even. Oh, we got one in here. How do I add this? Hold on. Oh shit. This is where technology gets in the way because I don't know how to do this stuff. Hold on, Prime. There we go. Thanks for the great content, Rob. Thank you, man. We appreciate it. Like I said, we're very new to this stuff, as you could tell by the way we handle ourselves. So we definitely appreciate all you guys helping us out and joining us. We're having a blast. The other big story, other than the preview of this game and stuff like that, is the trade deadline. And the weird thing was last night, the whole Steve McClendon thing. I don't understand it, but whatever. They trade a backup linebacker to the 49ers, whatever. Yeah. But then Brian Poole posted something last night, like big blessings or something like that. And I'm like, what? Did they trade him too? And it's good.
I thought that was just because it was his birthday. Wasn't it his birthday yesterday or something like that?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, but I'm like, but it made me think though. I'm like, if there was a list of candidates, which we get this question a lot, is he on the list? I'm like, absolutely. Like it would be right. It would be Brian Poole. It'd be Jordan Jenkins, Jamison Crowder. Like he's hurt now, but a lot of these guys.
But I was gonna say anybody that you should know at this point. Brian Poole, he's been here for over a year. Jordan Jenkins, same thing. A lot of these guys, you've had a long opportunity to evaluate. So you should know at this point who's in your plans for the future and who's not. Kind of like Robbie Anderson. Don't make the same mistake that you did with him. If he wasn't in your plans where you weren't going to give him that 4-year, $40 million contract that he got in Carolina, don't let any of these guys walk for nothing. If you have a chance to get something back for a guy that's not part of your future, do it.
No, I agree. So what can the Jets get out of a Brian Poole? I mean, a lot of these guys are on 1-year deals. So, a team isn't going to trade a lot when they know that the guy's not under contract for next year. So it's not going to be a lot of value. But if you get 4th round picks, all this stuff, it's all pieces to a puzzle, man. Assuming that Joe Douglas won't take another quarterback in the 4th round, but I mean, I'm so bitter, man. Like I'm trying to be happy. I'm a bitter, angry dude. I don't know why, but
see, the problem is I don't even think you're going to get a 4th round pick for half the guys that we're talking about. The only guy I think that would have more value than that is Quinnen Williams. And then the reports coming out today that they can't even get a 2nd round pick for him after they turned down more than that last year. That's, and again, I don't even think they should be trading him. I think he has plenty of potential, especially if they end up moving to, a 4-3 next year or something like that. I think the kid has plenty of potential still. So I wouldn't sell low on him. I think it's also crazy to think about trading Darnold at this point before you have the number 1 pick locked up. So, yeah, I mean, I don't think there's a lot of guys right now that you're getting anything more than, a 4th round pick for.
Hey, Quinnen Williams is a strange player too, because the takes on them are always like, either somebody said, oh, he's a disruptive player doing all these things, like PFF has him here, and the other half of the fan base is like, dude, he isn't doing anything for where he was drafted at. No splash plays, no major sacks, a lot of penalties. He's good for 2 a game at this point. Personal fouls, like 30 yards of penalties. He's like it's a weird, like there's no like
it's a lot of the same things as Leonard Williams. It feels like high draft pick, underperforming for where he was picked, but still a quality lineman, still some potential there. I don't know.
Only reason to watch this game is because of Darnold, Mims, Becton too, getting back. Yep. I don't really have any high hopes for Perriman. I think he's just a waste. Vincent Smith, Jeff Smith, a lot of young guys, but not even that. Like, you want to see Ashton Davis get in the game. You want to see, like, Bryce Hall's a couple weeks away, which would be interesting. Like, dude, even if you can get Cameron Clark to play offensive line, like any rookies, Zuniga, any of these young guys, get them on the field, and that's a reason to watch. Like, I'm glad McClellan's gone. He's going to a winning team, but like, he's the kind of guy that you want out of here so Nathan Shepard can play. And all these young players get on the field and the evaluation process truly starts.
Yeah, and that's been surprising too with Nathan Shepard. I know it wasn't a Joe Douglas pick, but he was a 3rd round pick, didn't do much his first year. 2nd year, he started to blossom a little bit along with guys like Foley and, Kyle Phillips. And it seems like all those guys have kind of been invisible this year. And I'm wondering why, Shepard's been the one that's been inactive. I feel like that first game, he also had a few plays, in there against Buffalo. So
he was coming on late last year too.
Yeah,
he was like disruptive.
Yeah, it's hard to explain. I don't know.
Mims is going to 2 targets because he will have too much on his plate. The next week we'll trade Crowder, and Gase will say now we will see more of Mims. Yeah, I mean, the handling of Mims, I mean, this is where, like, your lack of faith in Adam Gase comes in, where you don't really trust anything he's going to do. He hasn't handled P. Ryan right, and arguably P. Ryan's has an easier position to let him run the ball than Mims. I don't know.
What other team has trouble getting their rookie running back carries because there's too much on his plate? Or, I mean, there's so many carries to go around, especially when your lead back right now is a 37-year-old Frank Gore, who's not part of your future. You would think that, like you said, that would be the easiest position to evaluate one of your rookies. And yet here we are last week. I mean, how many times did he touch the ball? You targeted him once in the passing game and gave him a few carries, and that was it. Yep. Yeah.
You can't get any more conservative than Adam Gase. He's running a Mickey Mouse offense. That Mickey Mouse offense cost me a hangover last Monday because goddamn running the ball on 1st and 2nd down for like 5 series in a row. I mean, the one thing about Adam Gase where he's kind of put himself in a little hole was because he's had all these built-in excuses the last 4 weeks. Well, I didn't have this guy, and I didn't have that guy, and I didn't have this guy. And now it's like, well, Le'Veon Bell's gone, but he wasn't your guy anyway. Yep. But now it's like his one argument was, well, we had no speed. Now we have Perriman back, which he's obviously still banged up. But then now he has Mims back. So now it's like all the things he says he needed in theory, because these are all their guys. Like, these are the guys they chose to go to battle with. Now these are your guys. And then it was like, well, we got to get Herndon going. Okay. So he's been here the whole fucking time. Like, you just haven't used the tight end position at all. That's on you. It's not on the players. I mean, they dropped the ball and they had some fumbles, but like, this week right now, like, you look at all the pieces in the play here, this offense should show us a lot more than they have. And his excuses have to go away. They have to.
Yeah, all the pieces are pretty much back, minus Le'Veon Bell, who they chose to get rid of. So, yeah, these are the guys that they chose to work with, and they thought this offense could run functionally this year with this group. So, yeah, time to show it. I think the one scapegoat, though, that's still left is Greg Williams. And I don't know if you heard Boomer and Gio talking yesterday. Yep. The first 20 minutes of that show, didn't it almost feel like the way he was describing the reporting structure and the arranged marriages of everything, it's setting up perfectly for Adam Gase to blame Greg Williams and be brought back in 2021. You could already see it, dude.
Well, what did I tell you? What did I tell you? I think the last show we did, I was like, listen, the next scapegoat is Greg Williams.
Yep.
And then the whole bickering back and forth. And the way Boomer was talking, I'm like, you know what? They're going to fire him this week. Like, there's going to be something else. Like, they're one bad loss away where the defense plays poorly. where they're gonna be like, Adam Gase, he's got to go, man. Like it's all falling into place for all the excuses are always like, oh, now he's got to go. I didn't have my coordinator. I didn't have my this. I didn't have my that. There's always a reason why Adam Gase doesn't have what he needs. I had to inherit this coordinator. He wanted Vance Joseph. He didn't want Greg Williams.
Yep.
It's all just bullshit, man. So next comment, everyone gets evaluation now. I completely agree. Now, if Sam Darnold is healthy and Becton is healthy, this is your offense. I mean, they didn't want Bell, so whatever. So now you have Gore, P. Ryan, Ty Johnson. This is it. Show us what you got now. Starting with Gase, of course.
Yep.
Like, show us your play calling now, because now you don't have your excuses. You can run the ball behind Becton. You have speed. You have speed, plenty of speed in the field now with Vincent Smith, Jeff Smith, Perryman. There's speedsters everywhere.
Yeah, and that was the one area I think that we tried to give them a little bit of a pass. When we talked about the offense in the offseason, we said you might not have the number one threat on the outside, but at the very least, if Mims and Perryman are healthy, those are two guys that have 4.3 speed that can stretch the field. And so if they could do that, at the very least, you would think that opens things up for Crowder underneath. Hopefully it opens things up for Herndon as well. And it should also ideally help you in the run game as well.
Yep. Another super fan thing. You guys are cool, man. I'm not, this whole YouTube experience is just weird to me. So what are the chances Woody told Christopher to sit tight and not make any moves until he comes back from overseas? That is a fascinating conversation to have right there, because there's a chance that Woody could be like, listen, man, before you make any marquee blowout fire sales here, or fire the coach, all like that, let me come back and help you through this, because you're struggling right now. Chris Johnson is struggling. He made a fool of himself in many different ways. So there could be a chance, but I say, listen, the election's in 2 weeks? Hang on a second before you make a bigger ass of yourself. Let me double down and help you out and figure it out.
But what exactly would Woody be coming back to help? I mean, is he just going to come back and fire Adam Gase? I mean, why can't Christopher Johnson do that?
Maybe Christopher Johnson doesn't want to.
So is Woody going to overrule Christopher Johnson? And is Woody going to overrule Joe Douglas if Joe Douglas wants to keep Adam Gase? That's a whole nother aspect of this that we haven't even really touched on too much.
That's the Jets world we live in.
And again, that's what concerns me so much about Joe Douglas not addressing the media, is that all we have left right now to evaluate him on are the quotes from the offseason, what he said. Mm-hmm. And what he said in the offseason, forgetting what he said about the team, is that he's a believer in Adam Gase. Adam Gase brought him in here. So there's every reason to believe that the two of them are going to try to work this thing out together at this point. And so until he comes out and says something differently, that's what we're going to believe. So would Woody Johnson overrule his general manager who signed for another, 4 years after this?
Dude, that's part of the problem when you try to get a head coach, when you have all this confusion of leadership and direction and the ownership. Like, who's the owner? What's the owner going to do? What's their mindset? What's their philosophy? One's patient, one's not patient. So is Gore now the voice in the locker room? I mean, yay. What do you say? I don't know, man. Like, it should be, you would hope it's guys like Sam. Apparently Marcus May has been a vocal leader. McClendon was one of those guys. They got rid of him. Bell was supposedly a decent leader. He's out.
Avery Williamson, Gore, somewhat.
Yeah, Avery Williamson. So there's a couple guys. I mean,
I think Becton eventually is going to, you already see him starting to.
Yep.
But yeah, I think, after a year or two, he's really going to be one of the leaders in that locker room.
Gase is a bum. No arguments here. They need to draft Jamal Adams. That man is a stud. I've heard that kid's pretty good.
He's still hurt though. So.
Yep. Jets for pride and help the Finns. I don't know. This is. I wonder if Jet fans are kind of buying into this game a little bit with all the guys back, Sam back. If there's kind of a little bit of excitement about the game, where they're like, hey, you know what? Maybe we'll win this one. We could try to win this one. Maybe they want to win this one. What do you think?
I don't think too many fans want to win this one, because judging by all the comments, I see everybody's, tank for Trevor. That's what everybody wants. I totally get it. I get ripped to shreds for, defending Sam at this point. So I think fans are kind of all in on Trevor Lawrence, and anything that's going to potentially ruin that, or potentially even keep Adam Gase here, with a win. I don't think people want to see that.
We could use John Ross from the Bengals. He's been an epic disappointment with the Bengals, man. A lot of speed, not really much. What are you offering for it?
One of the 6th-round picks that you got? I don't know.
Yeah. All right, we got more of these things. I don't know how to even find these super fan things. You guys are crazy, man. I don't even know how this shit even works.
Never even heard of it until 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. So this is, hold on a second here, people. I gotta learn how to use the comments better now. I can't imagine this on Sunday, dude. Trying to drink and do all this stuff. Forget it. Glad you got super chat going. Enjoy the channel and vids. Can't wait to see that Jets bingo card in play. Well, listen, Gregory, I got news for you, man. This is going to be crazy on Sunday, because now that we have Now there's pressure on primetime. Like there's pressure on Gase, there's pressure on Darnold, there's pressure on primetime to get this bingo card right and out there so everybody can see it.
Well, there's pressure on the fans too, because I'm leaving, a number of spaces open for them to get creative, with some ideas here. So see what they got.
It was brutal, man. That was just. I gotta go to more. We got a couple more of these too, so I gotta go try to find them. I don't know how this thing works. I suck at these things.
Number 2.
That's the highlight for a lot of people too. Like we say, like they're like Mr. Primetime. You here to think them up?
That's why I'm amazed we don't have like an alcohol sponsor yet.
We should. Everybody's like, "How do you guys drink so much?" Like we don't really drink a lot. It's just we do it whenever we do it. We're on the show. Let's see. It's up here somewhere.
This one's like overflowing. It was like half frozen. Now it's like overflowing and shit. Got a mess here.
All right, I'm gonna let you answer a question while I try to find these comments.
Yeah,
so let's see. Let's see what do you got.
As long as it's not about my hat or my sunglasses. Everybody's ripping that. So.
Dylan, Dylan, I have your shirt packed. I got to mail it. What does Joe Douglas and the snake have in common? Neither have a spine. Your thoughts, Primetime.
Listen, at this point, it's hard not to criticize Joe Douglas for a lot of things, especially hiding and not addressing the media. You're in a New York market. You knew what you were in for when you took the job. I can forgive certain mistakes when it comes to drafting and the roster in your first offseason. But not addressing the media, not getting out in front of the situation, that's the one thing that you can't forgive. Your team is a dumpster fire right now. The organization's up in flames. You're supposed to be the guy that's about culture. You need to address it. You need to talk to the fans. You need to talk to the media and say what's really going on here.
It's called Super Chat, not Super Fans. See, Garcus, I don't know how to do this shit, man. I'm in the middle of this. You all killed it last week. What makes us think Mims isn't going to be ruined by Gase? What young player has gotten better under Gase anywhere? That answer is nobody.
I mean, think about it. 4.5 years. Is there a young player that's improved under him?
No, there's not. I mean, there's really not. I mean, I couldn't make an argument. I thought Robbie Anderson did, to be honest with you. I definitely thought Robbie was good. They expanded his route tree, played better. I mean, I was trying to find something, but other than that, I don't know anybody else.
I don't even think Robbie Anderson's numbers were better under Gase than they were the 2 years previous under Bowles. Or at least they were pretty close to the same. I get it. He expanded his route tree, but they didn't even use him enough. There were a number of games down the stretch last year where he was completely invisible. They didn't even target him at all.
Let's see. Another one here. Are you guys concerned you'll ruin Trevor Lawrence because nothing improves staff-wise? Sam Darnold left out to dry. I mean, I'll start with this. First of all, if you bring back Adam Gase next year, Trevor Lawrence will find any reason in hell to not come here.
Yep.
I mean, you can't even, I mean, I'll even go this far. If this season ends and they bring back Adam Gase, the fan base as a whole has to unite and not buy tickets, not buy apparel, and have an official boycott of the team to say, you know what, we're not going to tolerate this. Like you're not going to fool us again. Like we know he's the worst coach in football. If you're going to double down again and bring him back again, don't buy tickets anywhere. Like just be like, you know what, I'm done. Like we're not paying for shit here. And until you get this guy out of here, like we got to make a stand, dude, because we know he's not the future. So then it's like, say if you bring him back, then what? Trevor Lawrence doesn't want to come here, or he doesn't, he does the same thing with Sam and ruins Sam even more. Like there's no positive whatsoever anywhere for keeping Gase.
Yeah, listen, if you bring in Bieniemy or a proven head coach.
Did you see that interview with Bieniemy?
Yeah.
It reminded me like a Rex Ryan kind of speech.
Yep. I loved it. And again, if you bring in somebody like that, no, I'm not concerned at all about ruining Trevor Lawrence if you hire the right guy. But if you try to leave Adam Gase here, like you said, I don't think there is any chance Trevor Lawrence would risk his career to play for Adam Gase. And what's even worse is that we always talk about how the organization reacts too late to certain things, right? They fired Bowles too late. They fired McCagnon too late, all these things, right? Well, think about what you'd be doing to Trevor Lawrence. It would be literally the exact same thing that you did to Sam Darnold. You let him start his first year with Todd Bowles on the hot seat. After year one, you fire him, and then you bring in, and then you change the offense, new coach, new system in year two. That's not how you develop a young quarterback.
And there was somebody trying to tell me, well, you can't fire Gase because that'll be Sam's third offense.
So what?
So keep him in a shitty one? Like keep him in an offense where he's going backwards? Like stop with the Gase. Like stop justifying keeping him. There's not one person with any kind of sanity where you keep him. There's no way.
The argument for continuity only works if it's a productive system that elevates
and a
players.
Good coach.
Exactly.
Next recommendation: drink every time Gore runs up the gap. I mean, Jose, we wouldn't make it through the first quarter. I mean, we had a rough time last week. That'd be even worse.
Well, I had it every time Gore touches the ball. I have it on there. So
fireball shot every time the phrase offensive guru and Gase are stated in the same sentence.
I'm going to add that one. I'm in that one.
That's a brutal one, man. Fireball shot. I mean, that's a oof.
I got to pick up some Fireball.
This Jets bingo is just a whole nother.
We might not make it to the post game.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we're trained professionals, man. We're finding our way to get through there. The New York Jets are a Mickey Mouse organization. Wayne Gretzky. That's like a New Jersey Devils comment, wasn't it? Way back when.
I think so.
I mean, right now it's very hard to support this organization when you know they're doubling down on Adam Gase. It's a problem. You question owners. I have a million questions for Joe Douglas. I really don't understand how he's handling the roster, what they're doing. And they're gonna have a CFL kicker, playing this Sunday. And then this is funny. Hold on, this one. Silas, I do like your picture, man. It was very funny. He sent us an Instagram, a direct message. He sent a picture of Trevor Lawrence that he made. Very clever. And then the other thing, prime time, it's just a picture of him in a Jet jersey.
Okay.
So thank you to everybody that reached out to us for the direct messages and the emails we've been getting. We definitely appreciate it. If you guys want to talk to us, it's talkjetsradio@gmail.com. And obviously, we're at TalkJetsRadio, Instagram and Twitter. It was a funny picture, man.
I gotta check it out.
Let's see. Mims probably pulls a hamstring with our luck. Hope not. I mean, I hope not too, man. Jesus. This kid's he's finally getting on the field. Let him flourish a little bit.
Yeah, that's like the one thing you have to look forward to, trying to see what you have with some of these young kids. So Mims is the one guy that, you still have some hope for at the wide receiver position. You want to see him over the last 10 games, develop some nice chemistry with Sam.
And then you think about it, if you have Mims and Perriman on the outside, the guys over in the middle should flourish. I mean, you should have Herndon and all if there's a time that what tight end position should do some things, it should be this week.
Yep.
Sam will have 5 TD passes Sunday, and Gase will bench him because he didn't like Darnold's body language after a 3 and out. I mean, that whole thing about P. Ryan was so just ridiculous, man. What do you guys think about all these bums telling Trevor Lawrence to avoid the Jets? I think a lot of it is hyperbole. A lot of it is clickbait. A lot of it is just a hatred for Gase that many people have. Once Gase leaves the building, Trevor Lawrence has no problems being here. I mean, that's your first wave, like getting your true rebuild going, is getting the clown coach out of here.
Yeah, but again, we have to make sure that actually happens. And right now, just being honest, we all know it should happen. It should have happened last week, the week before, but it's not happening. And the GM is not answering anything. And the owner is given his vote of confidence after week 1 that this guy is still brilliant. So at this point, to expect Adam Gase back, I feel like it might happen. And if that does happen, Trevor Lawrence will probably avoid the Jets. I don't see any reason why he would just willingly come to the Jets for his first year with Adam Gase. Why would he do that?
The next comment, I had poor body language today, so I didn't go to work.
That's going to be my excuse next time I call out.
Oh, my God. Nope. Excuse will always be, I called the right plays. They didn't execute. That's a Gase go-to, man. But now it's going to be like, listen, man, now all your players are here. Are you calling the right plays?
Yep. And that's part of what I don't really get about Boomer, putting all the onus on Greg Williams. It's like, how many times has Adam Gase thrown other players under the bus? Almost every week, after every game, every press conference, he throws somebody under the bus. So what Greg Williams said, should he have said it? No. But was it worse than some of the things that Adam Gase has said? Absolutely not.
Greg Williams knows this place is a clusterfuck, dude. Like,
exactly.
They all know it. Like, he's saying what everybody's thinking.
Exactly.
Like Adam Gase buries everybody, but it's like, dude, we all know what the problems are here. There's no leadership. There's no direction. There's no accountability. The offense is a mess. So, it's Sam knows about the outside Trevor Lawrence noise. We need a stronger mentality quarterback in New York. Either he's going to step up and become a top 15 quarterback, or shut down and get us to the #1 pick. Listen, the one thing about Sam Darnold, he's faced a tremendous amount of adversity while he's been here. The ghost game. I mean, a lot of quarterbacks, that ghost game, when it's a national story, could just fold right there. The kid came back. He's fought through. He's done a lot of good things. Yeah. I mean, he's been through a lot, man. He's been through a lot here, and he's been strong through it. And he keeps his head down. He's not on Twitter. He's on Instagram, but he'll be fine, man.
Yeah, and not just the ghost game. His first year, he had the ankle injury after Spencer Long was, snapping the ball over his head. Comes back, fantastic second half of the year. Yep. Last year, has mono, comes back, played much better in the second half than he did in the first half. So, this is back-to-back years now where, he's ended up being out for a couple of weeks, been able to kind of reset, evaluate things, and he's come back, stronger. So I'd like to see that happen again.
Thank you very much, NY Jet Fan 1991. We definitely appreciate it, man. Like I said, this is going to go to our Seltzer Fund, which, at the rate of this live streams, we're going through a ton of them. So don't worry. It will go to you. Good use, I promise you guys. That will never be a problem.
Yep.
Let's see here. Let's see. Hold on. We got a couple more here. You guys are crazy, man. I never knew how half this shit works. I got to teach you how to do this shit prime time. I'm getting stuck in all the comments. Man. You're always slacking off, man. I do all the hard work around here.
Just teach me how to do it.
I'm
as tech savvy as you are.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, we get so many freaking comments, man. It's crazy. Let's see. Gase has ruined all the young talent he has been around. I have no faith Mims will be any different. Well, I don't know. I kind of do. I mean, the kid's like super explosive. I mean, if you can add that vertical game to this, I mean, I think there's some opportunities for him to do some things. So hopefully that's the case. I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know. I'm not expecting too much from Mims this year to begin with. You factor in the injuries, lack of training camp, all that. I didn't expect a whole lot this year. So ideally, Adam Gase is fired at the end of the year, and you have a new offensive system next year where Adam Gase really can't ruin him. Because 10 games, I don't think that's going to ruin any wide receiver. So I don't know.
When the Jets are 0-9 at the bye, do you guys honestly think Gase is still here, tank or not? What kind of standards for the future do you want to set? I mean, Daniel, we were firing him 4 weeks ago. Every week, like I made the argument where I was actually disappointed he wasn't fired this past week. Like why are we waiting until 0-9? Like you had the Bronco game. You mentioned how many times that Bronco game was perfect time to fire him.
Yep.
He got Becton and Darnold hurt.
Got his 2 top guys hurt, and that was the perfect week to do it because you had the extra time to prepare for the next game. So yeah, I mean, to be honest, Jets 0-9 at the bye week. I don't think Gase is going anywhere. You've heard all the reports. I know Ralph Acciano today had a report that they don't want to do anything in season, which again doesn't make any sense to me.
Stupid.
The whole idea of continuity, like you also said, is about having a good coach there so that you can grow and develop. If continuity is just for the sake of continuity, where players aren't developing or progressing, what are you doing exactly?
Yeah, the one thing is with a rebuild is if you're showing progress and direction and development, you see some kind of like, all right, listen, I could see the direction we're going. Then you add on another year. Okay, we could tolerate another year of this. When you're getting blown out week in and week out, when your quarterback has regressed, everything is terrible. Like that's not like okay, we want more of this next year. We feel good about this. There is not an ounce of good feeling here. So now are they gonna have a good feeling now because all the players are back? Because then Gase, dude, he's out of excuses now. He really is. He's not like if this offense doesn't score more than 14 points a week, what's the excuse now?
Yep,
it's gonna be Sam, right?
Greg Williams and Sam. I mean, that's pretty much all he has left to blame.
Rodrigo Costa, fan from Brazil here. It's not much, but it'll help with the beer bingos. Rodrigo, first of all, thank you for watching in Brazil. What the hell made you a fan of Brazil, of the Jets? I'd like to know that answer.
I was going to say, we've heard from a lot of different countries. That might be the first one we've heard from Brazil.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever had Brazil before, right?
It's pretty cool. Oh, what happened?
Dylan, what's the difference between Adam Gase's offense and Kevin's shotgun last week? Kevin's shotgun was kind of legit. Between your shotgun and the glasses on the hat, these have been the 2 biggest feedbacks we get, man. It's terrible.
I saw somebody the other day comment on like one of the videos I did in my car where I actually had the glasses on, like live footage of the first time Primetime ever wore sunglasses. I'm like, holy shit.
Oh my goodness. Thank you for all this super chat stuff. Like I said, we had no idea what the hell it even was, so we definitely appreciate it. The team in classic Jets fashion are now positioned to win enough games and lose the number 1 pick. Listen, that's the thing that you start wondering about now is the Bills are a little bit rough on defense. Their offense is still very explosive, but the Jets are getting some weapons back, and Sam Darnold's going to have a chip on his shoulder. I mean, you'd think he would. Yep. Everybody's kind of wants to trade him, writing him off, get him out of town. We want Trevor Lawrence. Does he come out with some fire and brimstone now and be like, you know what, fuck all you guys. I'm going to show you what I'm made of, and like kind of take more control and be the fire leader that we want? So if he does do that, and you have Perriman and all these guys back, maybe they do win a game or 2.
No, and I still believe they can get that number 1 overall pick if they win 2 or 3 games because, I think, the Giants have been competitive in all their games. The Falcons look good last week. I think a lot of the teams that are right there with us are probably going to end up winning 3 or 4 at least. So, there is room to win, a couple games here and there. And if you could see Sam kind of do some things along the way where either it increases his trade value or it gives you confidence that he could still be the guy going forward, either way, that's what you want to see.
Oh, this question's right up my alley, man. Dude, thank you guys for doing this. This is just wild. I can't believe that you guys are doing this.
This is perfect.
What is the deal with the beat writers holding back punches against Gase and the organization when it comes to articles and Zoom questions? Why are they so timid except Manish? They are all sheep. Well, first of all,
take it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is right up my alley. This is right in our wheelhouse here. First of all, Manish can do whatever he wants. They took away his credentials. So he has no, he can do whatever he wants because there's no repercussions if he doesn't do anything. Now the rest of these guys are being fed a narrative. And if they don't follow the narrative, they don't get the source and the leaks and the stories that they need. Yep. So they got to play nice now. They got to, Adam Gase tells them what to say. They spew it out to us. And then we got to react to it and try to believe them when we could see right through it most of the time. So that's what's going on here. They're trying to control the story. Like they try to do with podcasts and websites and all the other shit they try to do. They try to control you. Hey, can you guys not do this? And, you know, you can interview some players. You can do this, whatever else. They try to control the media. And Manish is just free because they took away his credentials. Yep. And the funny thing is Manish is actually putting up better articles than some of these other guys. You can see through it. Like you can see, and even Boomer does it. Boomer gets the same story from the Jets. He passes it down the road and he tries to put the things out, like the whole Le'Veon Bell thing about Sam Darnold. It's all very transparent if you sit back and look about how it all goes about. When one guy has it, the other guy has it. When Connor Hughes releases it, Brian Costello releases it. How the hell do they have the same source? The same source as Gase.
The perfect example was when all those articles started coming out last year with the billboards and the planes and all that, how they all denounced it at the same time after covering it during the Idzik days. And dude, you see also like, some of the reports that come out, whether it's about injuries or
how about Le'Veon Bell being slow?
That too.
Remember?
That's another one. And just all these little scoops that they get for the extra like 10 minutes before everyone else gets it. That's why they do it. That's why they cover for the little tidbits of information that they get the scoop on as the first one to report it. They give the Jets whatever kind of good coverage that they want. They feed him the softball questions. And like you said, Manish, he's probably the biggest reason why I got involved with all this stuff, to have a voice, because I hated the way he covered the team for so long. It was always the clickbait bullshit.
We had him on. Remember, we had him on the challenge.
Yeah, I know. Exactly. And again, he was one of the biggest reasons I wanted to do this, to have a voice that was different from the way he did things. And you know what? He's completely changed to the point where he's like the only guy you can rely on in the beat to tell things accurately, to ask the tough questions. I know he can't do that anymore, but he's told it like it is since November. He's been the only one to grill the Jets and really hammer away at the legitimate questions that need to be asked.
Yeah, and see, the difference that we have, too, is the perspective we have is we were on the sidelines in practice. Yep. So we saw how the Jets manipulated the media. We saw how the Jets work with certain writers. We know the games that are played. And now the cool thing is we can kind of call him out on it, because you see, like, the whole thing with Le'Veon Bell being slow. When he came in the training camp, every beat writer, oh, my God, he's in the best shape of his life. He looks this and that. On the same day, within 10 minutes of it was like, oh, he looks slow. He's the worst running back in camp. Running back in camp. Two guys in 10 minutes when the story never came out anywhere else. Yep. The Jets, they control the media, dude. And it's embarrassing.
I almost forgot about that one. But yeah, that was the perfect, that even better than some of the other examples that I gave. That was spot on, that one.
Yeah, so they all do that because they want to stay in the good graces of the Jets. They get their stories and everything else. Yep. If it's worth it, man, I mean, listen, at some point you want to be credible. And the reason why I always do these things is because, like, I hate when people tell me what the fans think. Well, Jets fans think this. Bullshit. I'll tell you Jet fans think. I'm one of them. You're one of them. We're all one of them. Yep. We talk with fans. We're all fans. And we all talk together. We all know our opinions. Don't be some hack from the New York Post telling me what I think when you're completely wrong. You're telling me what the Jets are telling you to think.
Yep.
That's what I mean. Yeah, this Garcus, we can do an hour show on this. Kevin and I have so many stories about how the media shit works with the Jets. You guys you'd be shocked at the shit we know.
Stories for days on that shit.
Oh my goodness. We'll do that one like one of those real blowout.
And then they'll really hate us.
For $10.
I like how he put the sunglass picture in there, but no, I will not call Sam Darnold a bust.
Nobody's going to.
And here's the biggest reason why. The Miami Dolphin fans, they probably looked at Ryan Tannehill as a bust, right?
Yep.
When he left there, he was a nobody. He was signed with the Titans, and he was a backup to Marcus Mariota. He was a backup. Right now, he's an MVP candidate. He's a legitimate top 10 quarterback right now. There's no denying that. So to say that what Sam Darnold has been working with right now, as far as worst head coach in football, worst offensive scheme in football, worst playmakers in football, last year, legitimately the worst offensive line in football, this year, not much better. How much are we really expecting from this kid? It's not to excuse some of the mistakes that, I see everybody with their film analysis posting. It's not to excuse some of those things. It's to point out the obvious, which is this organization has failed him at every single turn. And at 23 years old, I still think he has plenty of potential to grow and unlearn some of the things that Adam Gase has taught him.
Yeah, and the thing is, my opinion of trading him isn't an indictment on him. It's an indictment on how the Jets have really fucked him over, and that he'll flourish somewhere else. And a change of scenery will actually help him, and he'll be the quarterback that we all think he can be. but I'll never call him a bust. Like you can't look at what they've done to him here and all things that have gone wrong. Like, oh, Sam blew it in New York. No, they failed him.
Yep.
And now he's being overwhelmed. And now he's coming back from an injury. And they're like, now it's like, well, you have, what is that, 10-game audition now. Now you're auditioning for your job. And everybody's like, this is the last game of his career. He's going to be traded. Like the shit he's dealt with at a young quarterback coming from California, it's got to be like, dude, you can make a case. Like his parents have got to be like, you know what? Ask for a trade, man. Just get out of there. Especially if they bring this bozo back next year. Like if they bring back Adam Gase next year, if I'm Sam Darnold's agent, be like, bro, I'm out. Like you want Trevor Lawrence, you can have him. I don't want to be here. Like I'm not going to stay here for another year. Like Who would? Yeah.
Trevor Lawrence, Sam Darnold, nobody would want to be here playing for him.
Yo, that's the comment.
Yo,
what's up? Chillin' Willem. What's up, dude? Kevin, why do you have sunglasses now? I'm trying to find where the sun is right now, but I can't since it's pitch black outside. Well, they're not on his eyes.
I put them on my hat just to piss everybody off tonight. That's why I did it.
They're very astute. So the Buccaneers got AB.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised. Tom Brady just loves that guy, man. He vouches for him, wants him.
Yep.
And and the thing is funny is like Todd Bowles has that defense playing some legit defense too, man. They're playing some good football down there.
They look good last week.
Darnold is going to have to learn a third offensive system. It's just not going to be at the Jets. It's a good possibility. I mean, he's going to learn a third one somewhere, either here or somewhere else. That's unfortunate. He's so young, man. Like if you had, like we talked about this in the past, if there was a blueprint to ruin a young quarterback, they've checked off every box and 3 more pages.
Yep.
So we got a Bills fan here. We're pretty banged up, so this might be a better game than people think. I would say it could be more competitive if the Jets offense plays well, because I don't think the Jets defense can slow down the Buffalo Bills offense.
No, that I agree with.
I mean, this year is a joke. I mean, Bless Austin's banged up. I mean, even though John Brown's out, there's still and our run defense. And the one I did what the hell is it? The Crowd Assist podcast last night with the Buffalo Bills fans, which are awesome guys. We got to tweet them out. They're phenomenal Bills fans. And they're like, we can't run the ball. I'm like, yeah, but our run defense is horrendous. Like we joke around, like how many carries have gone for like 8 yards or more untouched against the Jets defense? Yep. Then you add in the versatility of Josh Allen. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I worry about. If we were talking about the front seven from last year, I think we'd be able to, kind of force them into some mistakes, make Allen throw the ball. That was kind of the game plan going into week 1. And yet, our corners were 10 yards off the line of scrimmage. Every throw that he made was easy. And the front seven couldn't even do their job. They couldn't wrap up. They couldn't tackle. A lot of, untouched 10, 15-yard runs. And you can't win like that. And I just don't think the offense has the firepower to put up, 30 points if that's what the Bills are going to do on our defense.
This was the plan all along for the year. Gase will be back next year. Might be an offensive coordinator, but he'll be back. Well, it won't be with an offensive coordinator. It'll be with a new defensive coordinator. He'll be like, well, now I had to inherit Greg Williams, what Matt Rule didn't want to do, what Mike McCarthy didn't want to do. Nobody wanted to do it. Adam Gase took it. Like he had like all these built-in excuses. Yep. This wasn't my GM. McCagnon got kicked out. Then it's gonna be like, it's not my defensive coordinator. He's gonna be out. Not my quarterback. He'll be out. Like he has like so many built-in excuses. Like, well, I don't have my guys. Fucking team.
See, after watching him dismantle that Miami team with some talented players, some talented pieces there, after watching him just dismantle that team, I don't know how ownership and Joe Douglas can sit back and just watch him piece by piece do the same fucking thing here. And again, to point the blame at Greg Williams, while last year you didn't fire anybody on your offensive staff, not Dowell Loggins, not Frank Pollock, when the offensive line looked like a mess, you fired nobody. You held nobody accountable. Yet now you're going to fire Greg Williams?
The next Jets coach needs to be the right one now, or the organization will be set back even longer. There's two things to that, Ed. The first thing is if you bring back Adam Gase next year, you set this team back at least 3 more years, easily. If you hire the wrong coach, it's a problem. But if you bring in a coach it's like Eric Bieniemy, his last couple of interviews, dude, he's kind of like a Rex Ryan, kind of like he's very intelligent, he's very well spoken, but he has that little like fire, like he's like, dude, like he gives you some emotion out of it, which is good.
Yeah, and not just that. I mean, that personality would fit perfect in New York, but he's also been under Andy Reid.
This clown.
Seriously, he's been under Andy Reid for a number of years. You would think, he could take, some of that playbook over here, and he does call the plays there. I know there's been some speculation on that. He does call the plays there. The offenses looked innovative. That they have some tricks up their sleeves that they do. In spite of all the talent that they have, they're still an innovative offense.
And he's paid his NFL dues too. He's a player. He's done a lot. He's special teams. He's been a part of a lot of things.
I think he would immediately command a lot of respect in that locker room. So yeah, I feel like we want the proven guy. That guy's probably not coming here. So if you're looking at the first time possibilities, whether it's from the college ranks or coordinators, he's probably at the top of your list right now.
Perrin gets hurt in the first drive. Drink. Put it on the bingo board. I don't say it's the first drive, but I say if he misses plays due to an injury, because he's like he got hurt with the first play last week or second play. His hamstring's all banged up.
See, I like to keep the choice board kind of broad. Where I just like last week I had any injury we have to drink. So instead of just narrowing it down to Perriman, I like to create more opportunities for us to drink as much as possible.
Here's one here for if you want a drinking game. This is it for here. Drink every time there's a pen that Gase's eyes peering over the play sheet or peering over his mask where you can barely see his eyes.
That was on there last week.
Yeah, that's a. Sam's gonna get pummeled. Well, Becton's back. McGovern's there. Alex Lewis is out and George Fant could be out. That's that's 2/5.
That's what you worry about. That's what you worry about.
Having Becton back is big, man. Please subscribe. I agree. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit that little button somewhere down there, wherever the hell it is, and subscribe. We definitely appreciate it. Thank you guys for all the content. Been loving it. Keep up the good work. Depressed Jets fan from St. Louis. There you go. Good town down there. Yeah.
Thank you. Because again, this is like the one thing that we have to look forward to this season. Watching the games isn't any fun. So, being able to interact with all you guys, it's enjoyable. I'm
not gonna lie to you, dude. I'm actually looking forward to Sunday, not because Sam's coming back. I'm looking forward to like Jets bingo and live streaming. Like I had a blast. I laughed my ass off. And then I guess I didn't realize I did throw my headset when they had the what was it? It was a 28-yard sack, or was it that? Or no, was it when the ball hit the guy?
When the ball hit Flacco, yeah.
When the ball hit Flacco, and I threw my headset and somebody took a screenshot and sent it to me. I'm like, dude, I don't even remember throwing it.
Yeah, so you wanted to win.
I just hate things that are gonna be a headline or just be like on a highlight over and over. Like, there's Joe Flacco embarrassing himself.
Well, you know what? At least Daniel Jones saved us last night. So
yeah, that's. I'll tell you what, though. In all honesty, he made some throws. That touchdown pass to Sterling Shepard was sweet. The kid's a hustler. He plays well.
And if Ingram caught that ball at the end, Giants win that game.
He's been a colossal bust too, man. He's like Chris Herndon.
Yep.
I still can't believe the Jets didn't bring back Robbie Anderson over $1 million in salary. Not only was he a good wide receiver, but he never missed a game. That's worth the money by itself, especially when you see the way these freaking guys are all out.
The biggest reason I felt to bring back Robbie Anderson was just for the continuity with Sam. There's only so many players or playmakers that you can constantly strip away from your young quarterback and expect him to pick up with the next guy, especially Perriman, who really only had a 5-game sample of success. Other than that, he was a first-round bust. So to depend on him to take over that role of Robbie Anderson with such a limited sample size, it was a foolish risk.
Watching the game last night, Jones had 2 coaches with him on the bench at their series. Never see that with Sam. Gase sits by himself. Jason Garrett's into it, man. Like, I know people criticize him for the way things went in Dallas, but they want him back now in Dallas right now, don't they? Because McCarthy's dying a slow death. But, dude, Jason Garrett is very good with his quarterbacks. He works very close with them. He schemes, a lot of innovative on. You saw the play calling, man. A lot of motion, a lot of trick plays, a lot of stuff, like, gets him in the flow. I think Daniel Jones has he has potential, man. He does.
Yeah, but you know what? Not just with the Giants and Jason Garrett, but literally almost every single game that I watch. When you watch the coaches on the sideline, they are always interacting with the players. Always going over plays on the iPads and things like that. You don't see that with Gase. He's
not
either like you say, he's either looking at his play sheet or he's alone on the bench. That's the only time you see him. He's never coaching up Sam. He's never interacting with the guys. I don't know.
Got to pound the rock. It's our only shot. Bill's run defense is trash right now. Yeah, but they got a lot of injuries in secondary too, man. Norman's out. Trey White's banged up. There's some opportunities here. The Jets offense should be a lot better than weeks past, especially with Darnold back and all the playmakers back.
Oh, with all the playmakers back, that's a perfect opportunity to trick the Bills and give Frank Gore 20 carries. So,
I'm a Giants fan. You guys want Evan Ingram for a kicking tee? We already got Chris Herndon, man. Chris Herndon's they're the same player.
That would be an interesting swap. Give each guy a change of scenery.
Man, it's just Jesus. It's so bad. Besides getting rid of Gase, can we draft a solid class for once? Well, and listen, I'm all about ripping draft classes, but this current one we have right now has been injured, so we don't even know what we have. The start of it, Becton's good, the punter's okay. And other than that, we don't even know. We have no idea what we have. So that's kind of be a question we answer next year and the year after.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to evaluate a lot of these guys with injuries, but there were still a lot of picks there that at the time we questioned, not just because of who we took, but because we didn't target what we really needed, which was wide receivers. I mean, this was the draft class to get the wide receivers. I know they say the upcoming one is equally as good. We'll see how that shakes out. But all the guys that were picked in the top 3 rounds, top 4 rounds, they're all out there making plays right now, helping their young quarterbacks and being featured, in these offenses. And yet, the only guy that we took, Denzel Mims, has yet to see the field yet. So like you said, that puts a lot of pressure on him when he does come back, and you hope he lives up to it.
Boomer is taking Gase's phone calls. Gio called him out. You know something, Boomer? He sure did. Gio was on it, man. He was just like, you know something you're not telling us, especially about trades for Darnold and the Jets' value on Darnold. And Boomer this is going back to Garkis's thing back in where Boomer over and over keeps talking about how Darnold is always hurt. All these things, he keeps spitting out the narrative. So over time, we all start buying it. Because the thing is, like, a lot of fans aren't like psychopaths like us that aren't like diehard, like on Twitter all day long, like reading everything, trying to be like, some are just casual fans that just observe things. They hear Boomer like, yeah, man, fuck Darnold. He's always hurt, man. He ain't that good. Like, you don't see the full equation of everything that's going on. And that's exactly what the Jets want. The Jets they're not worried the diehards. The diehards probably 20% of the fan base. They want to focus on the 60% that just casual, that aren't like, live and die for the team. They want to focus on them to bullshit them.
The 60% that get in their car at 6 a.m. to, take their drive to work, that only listen to Boomer Esiason and take his, word as truth. And again, if you go on, I think it's Boomer and Gio's page on WFAN, there's the clip. I think it's like 26 minutes long of the intro from yesterday's show. I hate to promote their page, but listen to that clip and tell me afterwards that you don't think he was kind of, planting the info for Adam Gase to be back next year.
I'm in for this. I'm 1,000% in for this.
Oh, hell yeah.
Live stream the Douglas mid-year press conference. That's must-watch TV. We'll know how many excuses he's learned from Gase. I'm down, dude. I'd take off work for that shit. I would do that in a heartbeat.
So
no doubt.
Let me ask you this. If Adam Gase is brought back next year, and let's just say, like we all think, it's a colossal bust, are you firing both of them at the end of next year?
Yeah, why not?
Okay. I'm just curious because
I mean, like what I don't understand is that what's up? What's up, Sam?
What's up?
What I don't understand is I don't know how Joe Douglas is getting past all this. So now this press conference, like John Idzik got fired for a really bad press conference. That press conference alone, I mean, minus the shitty drafting and everything else, that press conference got him fired. The pressure on Joe Douglas in this one is very similar, man, because he talked all that talk. It's blown up in his face. Now you got to face the music, especially about your head. If you're 0-9 and you're going to talk about doubling down on your coach, good luck with that, man. He'll be running out of town right along with the head coach.
And that's why I keep saying it. If he's really about culture and all this stuff that, he's preached to us for however many months now, at some point, his actions have to speak louder than his words, because he's been all talk and the actions haven't really showed too much. I understand what he inherited. This team was a mess. He had a lot to, kind of rebuild here. I totally get that. It's going to take some time, but the limited sample that we do have is not good.
Sam has been resilient. He had some awesome heads. He has some head scratcher games, but for the most point, I think he's a solid career if we don't destroy his future. Well, he's off to a rough start now based on how they've handled him. But now he's got a chance to kind of resurrect some things and get back and just – I mean, he's got to come out. He's got to be pissed, dude. He's got to be sitting home but just pissed about everything.
And even I'll say, as Sam's biggest defender, that these next 10 games, he has to show a lot in order to, eliminate any talk of Trevor Lawrence. If he doesn't legitimately light it up, show some leadership, eliminate a lot of those rookie mistakes, you can't pass on that guy like Trevor Lawrence. I love Sam. I love the idea of building around Sam and potentially trading that pick and having a foundation, but you have to see significant progress. I understand it's with Adam Gase, not an ideal system to do it. You got to overcome that. If you're a franchise quarterback, elevate the pieces around you, show you have it. No, but this is what I've been saying, though. This is what I've been saying.
I'm proud of you, man. Welcome to the dark side. Keep saying this.
This is what I've been saying, though. I'm not going to throw him under the bus midseason. I'm going to give him a legitimate chance. The first 4 games that he had, I mean, the Niner game, Adam Gase even said that's the one time he defended a player. Where he was like, we were on the sidelines making up formations. We had 2 wide receivers that were healthy. We were throwing him to the wolves. He was in survival mode.
You mean Josh Malone's not an NFL receiver? People are telling me how Josh Malone was the hidden piece, wasn't it? Or
who's he with right now? I don't even know if he claimed him yet.
What happens if the Jets win 3 or 4 games down the stretch and Darnold catches fire? You won't get Lawrence without the number 1 pick. Yeah, but here's the difference. If you're winning 3 or 4 games with Sam playing well down the stretch, then you're building around Sam Darnold. That's
exactly.
that means your question is answered. Then that number 4 pick, you're taking a wide receiver.
See, ideally, you would like for Sam to light it up, yet the defense gets blown out. You still get the number 1 pick, and you feel great about Sam, where you can trade down to 3 or 4. And now you're like, all right, we got the franchise quarterback already. We can take, Jamar Chase or somebody like that with pick 3 or 4, get him the number 1 wideout, still have an extra, 4 or 5 picks from the trade. Now you're talking a legitimate foundation. And that's what I think this team needs. There are so many holes, and people that think Trevor Lawrence is going to solve all of them. Andrew Luck didn't solve, everything for the Colts. Dan Marino never won a Super Bowl. There are so many different ways that you can build a winner. Mark Sanchez went to back-to-back AFC championship games. Nick Foles won a Super Bowl. So there's so many different ways that you can do it. It's not just about having the best quarterback.
Yeah, but if he's playing, that's ideally what you want. Play well down the stretch and have the offense running. He's like clicking. I mean, that's
yep.
I mean, then Gase comes back. It's a bigger problem, though. But I guess
I'd love to see a bunch of 37-30 losses where we're like, you know what, this kid still has it, and we can build around him.
Been a Jets fan since I came to this country in 2001, and this is by far the worst I've seen this team.
Yep.
Well, Shad, I have news for you. I've been a fan for a lot longer than that, and it's the worst I've seen. I mean, this is as bad as it gets, man. This is, like I said, I'm looking forward to Sunday because Sam is back and Becton's back. You want to see what Mims can do. Some excitement there, and Jets bingo. You can't beat that. But I mean.
No, this is the first game in, probably a couple of weeks that I've actually been excited to watch just because, we expect to see a significant amount of the draft picks out there. Can
we get some merch? Jets fan from St. Louis checking in, loving what you guys do. We had T-shirts a while ago. We had those Let's Talk Jets for You T-shirts. Yeah. But if they bring them back. If the season keeps going bad, I want to do Muppets and Puppets. I'm all about or just have
that too.
Or have a shirt, I survived Jets bingo or some shit. We'll do something.
We can get creative with it.
Yeah, we can do something. Let's see. What the hell is this? Maybe I'm not really sure what this is. I better not put it up there because I don't know what it is. It's like I'm gonna skip that one. Mims is going to be the next Stephen Hill. There we go. There's some positivity.
We had people saying that during the live draft show that we did. I could see like some of the comparisons that people make just because of the size, speed, and where he played, not really having the expanded route tree. But other than that, I think he's got some potential to really grow here. So I like his skill set. I think he'll be good.
Bills fan here. Tannehill played better once he got away from Gase. Darnold can too. I mean, that can go for a lot of. I mean, guess who else can? Le'Veon Bell. Like I expect Le'Veon Bell to play well in Kansas City. So let's see. What are Mims' strengths and potential in your eyes from what you've heard and seen on tape? Well, Romeo, I got news for you. I don't really study tape. That's kind of like not my area of expertise. Speed and athleticism, yard after the catch.
Yeah, speed, ability to stretch the field. And the one thing I remember hearing a lot about when he was coming out is his ability to make the contested catches. He has some he has some ridiculous catches with, defenders draped all over him along the sideline, doing the toe taps in the red zone as well. I think he could be a nice target with his size. So, yeah, I think there's a lot of stuff that he offers. The one area that I do think he needs to improve on is just, his overall route tree, similar to Robbie Anderson, who, took a couple of years to kind of expand that as well.
Please tell me what games we're positioned to win. The Tua game, the Dolphins with Tua, the Browns, you have no idea. Maybe the Chargers, maybe Sunday. Like, I don't know. It depends. Like, it really depends.
They're playing the Browns this year?
Huh?
They're playing the Browns this year?
Aren't they?
I don't think so.
Oh, man. How many years
the schedule. I saw someone post that in a comment a few weeks ago. And I was like, wait, I don't think they're on the schedule this year. I know we have the Chargers, which I thought maybe could be a winnable game because they just play a lot of close games.
The Browns this year.
No, we don't have the Browns. So we have.
How many beers did I have?
We got Bills, Chiefs, Patriots, Chargers, Dolphins again, Raiders, Seahawks. Oh, no, you're right. Browns, 12-27. My bad. I was wrong.
Yeah, see, I'm not drunk.
No, my bad. I was wrong. I don't know why. I didn't think we played the Browns this year.
I am from Mars. Well, welcome. See, now we're not only, we don't go Brazil and the rest of the country. Now we're going to other planets, prime times. I think we may have made it now. We finally have made it.
Can we send Gase there?
Let's see. Surprised that Greg Williams is still on the team. Bill, I agree with you, but the stars are aligned now for Greg Williams to be fired in the next defensive collapse.
Yep.
It's already there. Boomers leaked it. They're all leaking it. Bill Cowher everybody's saying it, where the level of respect that was shown on the sideline and in that press conference shouldn't be tolerated. It's like, it's you could just see it, man. Like you could just see all this happening.
No, I completely agree, but I don't agree with the premise that he should go as opposed to some of the other guys that you held on to. If you're going to point the finger at him, well, then why wasn't Frank Pollock fired last year? Why hasn't Dowell Loggins been fired as your offensive coordinator? If you're going to solely blame the defensive side of the ball, that's an easy way to kind of, fracture the locker room, I think.
Find out if P. Ryan can be the guy. I mean, we've been saying this for 3 weeks now. Like, this should be for everybody. Everybody should be, all the young guys should play all over the field. If you're going to lose young. I mean, this one guy keeps posting pictures of all these vegetables. I don't understand why. I should just block him or I don't know what I should do with this. It's hard to blame Greg Williams for all the defensive issues. They have no pass rush, no corners, and mediocre safeties, and they're on the field for 30 minutes. How about coming out flat every game? How about your run defense is horrendous when you have a highly touted defensive line? Like, I give you some things, but the run defense has been horrendous after a good year last year. I mean, I understand you can't blitz so much if you're worried about your corners, but Pierre Desir was awful. He never benched him. I mean, then he benches Bless Austin for making a bad play. Like, he's very inconsistent. And this seems to be the pattern with him in year 2 of his defense, where they tend to start struggling too. So, I mean, I don't know.
No, I completely agree that there's like literally no talent on this defense. You don't have any kind of pass rush at all. You have no corners at all. So
I mean, they could be more competitive than they are now, dude. They're not even competitive in most games.
Absolutely, but I think part of what's going into the scheme on defense, where they're playing things ultra conservative, it's kind of that bend but don't break. Let them drive the ball, but hopefully you hold them to a field goal and you keep them out of the end zone. I feel like that's been the philosophy, as opposed to being aggressive, sending a blitz, with corners that can't keep up with most wide receivers. I feel like that's what's going into him calling things the way he is.
We are playing hard and great at practice. Clown of a coach. I'm so tired of that. Oh, our practice has been great, this and that. Guys are really getting after it. Then they come out flat the first play of the game. The guy runs for 30 yards untouched.
Mims has been an all-pro in practice, apparently.
That defense is talented. They're just on the field all game. I 1,000% disagree with this comment.
Yeah,
I could not disagree more with it.
Where's the talent?
Who are you carrying over next year that you're proud of, other than Quinnen Williams?
See, here's also the thing, though. I think a lot of the guys on this defense, and we saw it a little bit last year, where they had a Jamal Adams type, that was like the star player, and then guys like May and Jordan Jenkins, they were able to kind of fill in that role, and they put up good numbers. They did their role well. Marcus May was the good free safety over the top. Jordan Jenkins still had 8 sacks, I think 7.5 the year before. But when you don't have that centerpiece, that anchor who offenses have to worry about, and you're expecting May and Jenkins to be your star players, that's a problem, and they can't do that.
Yeah, I mean, Jordan Jenkins has been kind of disappointing. It also makes you realize how much of an impact Jamal Adams had in this defense, how much versatility and explosiveness they had to account for him, and that freed up other guys. Other guys made other plays. So,
yep.
Let's see. The Bills don't blow out the Jets. It's the Bills' problem. I mean, I'm thinking for some reason I think this game should be more competitive than the last few weeks. Maybe I'm just naive, and I don't know. I just kind of get the feeling the Jets are going to be in this game a little bit. No, I mean, I'm not saying they're winning. Yeah. I'm saying that they should be not down 17-0 in the first quarter. It shouldn't be 21-0 at halftime. Like, it should be at least something that we could all watch and like enjoy the live stream doing.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing we don't really know is, whether or not the players, have checked out at this point. You'd like to think that, they sense with the trade deadline coming, maybe that's their chance to get out of here by showing something on film. Maybe a team gives up a late round pick to get you. But other than that, I mean, I don't think these coaches are really inspiring anybody. And I think that's been one of the biggest problems, is just, the lack of effort and guys not really getting after it.
Is Mims playing? As of now, he is.
Yep.
Realistically, what do you guys think we can get for Sam in a trade?
Second rounder right now.
Yeah. And to me, we're both on the same page with this. Is the trade deadline is going to come and go, and Sam has to be on this team. Yeah. You do not trade him at the trade deadline. By no means. It'd be the dumbest thing they could possibly do.
Yeah, and the argument that I keep getting is that, if you trade Sam and you start Flacco, that's your best chance to get the number 1 pick. Fine, but then what if you don't get it? Then who's your quarterback? Yep. And that would be a nightmare. So yeah, until you have that number 1 pick secured, the idea of getting rid of Sam is just stupid.
Make Braden Mann a team captain. Looks like he's the only one that comes to play every week. You can make him a starting linebacker too if you want.
Starting safety.
Yep. Make Braden Mann the tackling coach as well. I mean, yeah. I mean,
put him at wide receiver too.
Boomer wants Williams gone, and this is what I'm talking about. There's certain stories that come out, and they all come out in unison at the same time. You kind of know what the Jets are trying to lead to, and it's another excuse for Adam Gase.
I don't get how he could sit there and be appalled at what Greg Williams said. There was nothing appalling about what Greg Williams said. Should he have said it? No. But appalled? Like, that was the word he used. He was appalled at what Greg Williams said. I'm like, dude, all he said was that the defense isn't the only one to blame, which is fair. It's accurate. It's not just on the defense. Adam Gase has said much worse things. He has thrown a lot more players under the bus.
He's fair to everybody.
Exactly. Yet where's Boomer said that's appalling? No, he's defended Adam Gase at every single turn and given all these excuses about, arranged marriages and you need continuity and it's the players, it's everybody else. It's not Adam Gase, always.
I'm a Finns fan. You're wrong about Tannehill. He's good with the run game. He's a good QB, but not MVP. I mean, he's playing some phenomenal football, man. Yes, having Derrick Henry helps because Derrick Henry is an elite player, but Tannehill is a leader. He's running the ball. He's making clutch plays, winning close games. I mean, he's doing it all right now.
Right now, is he not a top 5 MVP candidate along with, Russ Wilson and Mahomes? He's up there right now. So, and that's the thing. It's also about building around your quarterback. Yeah, he may not be a franchise quarterback if he's expected to carry the load. And the same could be potentially said for Sam Darnold. Maybe he's not the guy that can carry you, but if you put the right offense around him, the right pieces around him, maybe he is like that Ryan Tannehill who could be, an MVP candidate, a top 5, top 10 quarterback. We don't know yet because all we've seen is Sam Darnold with Jeremy Bates' offense and Adam Gase's offense. That's all we've seen.
There's zero chance, capital zero chance, Gase is back next year. And listen,
you were right.
Yeah, I wish you were right too, Michael, but there is always a chance when you have the incompetence of the New York Jets ownership. And then when you have he's obviously bamboozling somebody, and Joe Douglas is going along for the ride. So that's a concern. And a lot of excuses.
You know what I think it's also coming down to a little bit at this point? Where it's like ownership just wants to prove they can be right about something. They don't want to listen to everybody saying that they got this wrong. So they're just going to wait it out as long as possible.
Not cave into the fans.
Exactly. It's like they're trying to prove a point that we're not going to let you guys make this change for us. We're not going to let all of you fans and everybody in the media fire Adam Gase. We're going to do it on our terms. Yep. That's what it seems like they're trying to do here.
We have a vision. We want to follow our vision, and it takes more than 2 years to do a rebuild or some nonsense like that.
Yep.
Which is all bullshit.
Yep.
We need Sam to walk in on a Gase press conference and bitch slap him on live TV. That is a little bit dramatic, but we do need to see some fire out of Sam this weekend. You need to see him. Listen, you've been criticized. Every facet of your game on the field has been criticized. You've been written off. People want you traded. People are calling you a bust. Come out with a little edge, some swagger, and own the huddle, own the game, play very well, and walk up and give people the finger. Like, dude, see, fuck you.
Yep.
You kind of want to see that at him. That body language you kind of want to see out of him now. Like you're going to see the body language of Josh Allen. He's playing with a tremendous amount of confidence. All the teammates love him. They've all bought in. They rally around him. They believe him as a quarterback. Sam still has to earn some of that. He puts in the offseason work. He's a good kid. Everybody likes him, but you need to rally. He needs to get people to rally around him and buy into him. Say, you know what? We're coming back. We're going to get this shit straightened out, and it's going to be on me, and I'm going to do it. He has to do it, man.
No argument for me at all.
What are the chances that Woody comes back this year and fires Gase? Woody's the X factor, man. He could just come in and be like, you know what? I don't give a shit what Chris is telling you. I want this whole clown factory cleaned out. He could.
I'm just very curious about where Joe Douglas truly lies on this. And I don't think Joe Douglas wants to fire Adam Gase. I don't. And so if Woody comes back and he wants to fire Adam Gase and Joe Douglas doesn't want to fire Adam Gase, who wins that power struggle? The GM that has 4 years left on his contract, or the owner who both parties report to?
Yep. Lies. You've been a Darnold apologist. Well, you're not talking to me because I've been ripping the shit out of Sam. Yeah. I mean, listen, it's like we're all Sam Darnold fans. I'm a Sam Darnold fan. I have his autographed picture right there. I'm a fan of him. But now you're getting concerned, and now the whole situation as a whole is becoming concerning. And now he has a chance over the next 10 weeks to change the narrative. He can prove you right, prove me wrong, and do whatever else.
But I don't get what being an apologist really is. It's pointing out facts about what he's been working with. And again, right now, he is still younger than Joe Burrow, who was drafted this year. And the environment that you've put him in, what quarterback is succeeding with that environment? Is Trevor Lawrence coming in right now with Adam Gase and this supporting cast and winning, even 4 or 5 games? I don't think so. I don't think you bring in anybody right now, any quarterback, and they're elevating this team with this coach in this system.
Yep. When Sam is in there, Jets have a chance to win. Jets have lost every game Sam did not start.
Yep. That's somebody brought that up.
Every game he started too.
Well,
this year they're 0-6 right now.
I was saying over his career, they're 0-8 when he doesn't start, and I think they're 11-18 or something when he does start. So I think that tells something. I don't know.
Live stream again on Sunday. I was on the couch dying laughing, watching y'all while hubby was watching actual games. He thinks I'm crazy. Did you do Jets bingo yet? Well, yes, we are live streaming because I had a blast. I was surprised. I thought I had a great time with it. We'll go live 10 minutes before the game, and Jets Bingo's on prime time. It's his responsibility as a whole. He's the owner of Jets Bingo. So once we get the board all set, we'll put it on here, Instagram, Twitter, we'll put it everywhere.
And help us out. Help us out. Come up with some ideas.
We definitely need ideas for sure. And be responsible. No drinking and driving either. We're home, so we just fall from the couch over there. You can't be known as a team that passes on Trevor Lawrence.
All right, hold on.
You can if Sam Darnold's playing very well. You don't need him then.
So one of the arguments that I saw was like, if you pass on Trevor Lawrence or you trade the pick and he's drafted by the Jaguars and he turns them into a Super Bowl contender, how would that make you look? Well, I could say the same thing. How would you feel if you traded Sam Darnold for only a second round pick and he leads the Steelers or the Colts or the Saints to a Super Bowl in the next, 4 to 5 years? Then how would you feel? Yep. I feel like it's the exact same argument.
No, listen, I completely agree with you.
And on that same token, I saw another comment also about, Trevor Lawrence, he's a generational talent. Okay, cool. Let's look at the last, 4 or 5 generational talent quarterbacks. Pat Mahomes, he was the 3rd quarterback taken in his draft class. Aaron Rodgers, he slipped to, late 1st round. Tom Brady was a 6th round pick. Russell Wilson, a 4th round pick.
I think they're equating him like an Andrew Luck kind of player.
And even Andrew Luck, what did he win? Look what happened when he wasn't surrounded with talent.
They fixed the offensive line. I mean, he was taking a beating.
That's what I'm saying, though. So you need a complete team. The quarterback alone can't do it. And it just seems like everybody is saying, like, Trevor Lawrence is going to save the Jets. And until you build a legitimate foundation, that's not going to happen. You're going to do the same thing to him that you did with Sam, unless you have the right coach and you legitimately build around him. And everyone keeps saying, oh, well, you still have money and you're going to have other draft picks. I'd like to see, like, not just the cap space, but have high premium draft picks that you can invest. Not just, your mid to late round picks, which we've seen a lot of those guys not pan out under, not just Joe Douglas, but under past regimes. Give me as many premium assets as possible to build a true foundation, as long as you see enough from Sam over the next 10 games.
Brandon has a nice message for you.
I'm not there. Not there yet. Not there yet.
Jets meme shirts would be great. Listen, puppets and Muppets. A couple more losses, man. I'll make this shit myself. I make t-shirts. I don't care. Why not?
Do it.
Funny as hell. Let's see. It's at the point where we should just lose, but I have a feeling Sam is going to fight based off his comments on Lawrence and chatter today and will fall out of the top spot. Listen, man, if Sam goes on a run here, is playing great football and his offense is rolling, you win games, you win games. I mean, you can't be mad about it. I mean, winning games, a Flacco will be annoying, but if Sam is playing great.
Yep. Can't be mad at that. Can't be mad at that at all.
We got here lots of questions here. They're not being the Chargers. We don't know what we're going to do. The Browns are going to stomp us. I mean, you never know. I mean, even though, people are joining from other planets because you guys are out of this world. Well played.
It's a nice comment.
There's going to be one game this year out of 16 where the Jets play way over their heads. That game where everything just clicks for them. They're going to have one game like that this year. Like, I don't think they're going to go 0-16. I think they're probably going to go like 1-15, 2-14.
Chiefs.
Yeah, right.
Beat the Chiefs.
Dude, that game is going to be a fiasco. Our live stream is going to be a mess, dude. I probably won't even see the second half of that game. It's going to be a disaster.
It spreads up to 22, I think.
We lost to Brett Rippon, a third-string undrafted rookie. We're not beating any of those teams. Well, Sam Darnold's getting his weapons back, man. So now maybe this is going to be the way he changes things up. Mims and I don't know. I mean, not having Crowder would be pretty big. I mean, who would you trust there? You trust Berrios?
Yeah, I mean, Berrios has looked good. He had back-to-back games with a touchdown earlier in the year.
He drops a lot of weird passes, man. He drops like the most inopportune times sometimes. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's bingo. Bingo suggestion. Tyson throws his headset. Now you're disgust.
That'll be checked off by the first quarter.
I was pissed last week, man. That shit pissed me off. Let's see. Are we ever going to see Bryce Hall? He was supposed to be a first-round talent. Week 8. Yep. He's back. He's back practicing, so that's a good sign. I'm looking forward to seeing him play, man. Like that's the kind of players you want to see when it's a lost season.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite picks. I was shocked that he slipped to the 5th round. So
I really hope they don't trade Avery Williamson. They need that veteran voice, and I will like his interviews every Tuesday with Joe and Evan on WFN. Those interviews are ridiculous, man. It's just like they don't know how to They just don't ask good questions at all. But Avery Williamson got some value, and a lot of teams right now are hurting for linebacker help. Pittsburgh, a lot of teams are looking for help, man. If you can get something for him, I think he's not coming back next year, and they're going to go younger at linebacker. You can get something for him. Let him go to a winning team too. Like let him go to Pittsburgh. Let him win. He deserves it.
Yeah, and you're going to have Mosley coming back next year. You're not going to find anybody, I don't think, to take on that contract with the money that he's making. So he's going to be one of your inside linebackers, and then hopefully you get guys like Cashman or you bring back Neville Hewitt, somebody like that, and you're fine there.
May is overrated. He had a great week 1. He hasn't been that great. Now they're saying that he's playing out of position to be a team player to help Bradley McDougall. Like I don't think. Well, you really can't read through half the shit because they're always making excuses for people.
Well, that was what you remember. That was one of my arguments earlier in the year. Why were they trying to, reinvent his role when he was pretty good as your free safety, as the complement to Jamal Adams as the box safety? Yep. So if Bradley McDougall couldn't handle that role, why not develop Ashton Davis as, the Jamal Adams player who can play in the box and keep Marcus May where he was successful? That's what I thought they should have did. But
we forgot Blake Cashman's coming back too, man. Another player. Forgot all about that one. So that's why you point that out. That's a good point.
Yep. Best coverage linebacker we have, probably.
I'm from California. How can the Jets fans put up with this garbage team? We get used to it, man. Like we're used to disappointment. We're used to pain and suffering. We're used to bullshit. You see it. You don't tolerate it. You speak out about it. But I mean, it's just, it's this year. We keep saying this year is probably one of the toughest years, man. This is, especially when you have your quarterback banged up and all the injuries and
the last 2 years combined, really, just because you put up with the 8 years and then you finally found yourself in position with, a decent foundation. You had your quarterback, you had Jamal, certain pieces there, Le'Veon Bell, you got excited about, and you're like, all right, we're finally starting to turn the corner. And then you hire Adam Gase, and then you get off to the 1-7 start last year. You're like, all right, maybe we'll get him out of here. No, we get the 6-2 fluke against garbage teams. They try to sell us and, bring it all back for this year. And it's been a disaster. So yeah, at this point it's rock bottom.
Hey, you think about it, 3 of the players that we were the most excited about was Adams, Bell, and Robbie Anderson, along with Sam. 3 of the 4 are gone.
Yep.
So it's not very easy.
Yep.
Gase and Jets never learned. You don't get accolades for excuses. An excuse may get you out of trouble, but doesn't get you medals. I mean, the culture right now at the Jets is all about excuses and justifying losing. That's all they're doing over and over, week in and week out. And that's your culture. That's Jets need to lose. Let's see. Are you guys concerned that they start using P. Ryan, he shows some promise, and Mims comes out and looks good with the sand? They might keep Gase.
I'm concerned that they might keep Gase no matter what.
Regardless.
At this point. Because again, I mean, I don't want to keep bringing this up, but every single week there's been a reason that you could fire him. We knew, or at least he should have been on the hot seat coming into this year. And what we've seen out of Sam, the way he handled those injuries on the Thursday night game, that was a perfect time to fire him, and they haven't done it. And even worse, the owner gave him a vote of confidence, and Joe Douglas is hiding. He's in his basement, not saying a fucking word. So, I mean, at this point, to assume that Gase is going to be fired, I think that's being a little bit naive, because where's the proof that he's going to go? To this point, it seems like they're kind of on board with just letting him ride this thing out.
We need to sustain drives on offense. Without some competency, we can't evaluate Sam. I mean, that's twofold. You want some long drives on offense to keep your defense off the field, especially against the Buffalo Bills offense that can wear you out, the running game, the deep pass, and everything else. So, yeah, I mean, you want to see some rhythm in the offense, some kind of mindful play calling where you could roll them out, get them in sync, hurry up, some motion. I know God will use motion, some plays downfield, use the tight ends. We can give Gase a list of 20 things he can do to change his offense with Sam in there. You just got to do it, though.
The biggest things for me are up-tempo, because it seems like when he's operating up-tempo, offense moves, he looks comfortable, he's not thinking so much, he's just reacting and making plays, and that's what you want. And then RPO, he's got some athleticism. He can run the ball a little bit. We saw it on the 46-yard touchdown. He could do that kind of stuff, yet we don't really give him many opportunities to do it. And he can't even audible. He can't do quarterback sneaks. I don't know.
These comments are fucking hysterical, man.
Okay.
Can Mr. Primetime drop the link to get those sunglasses?
I think they're Under Armour. I forget.
Primetime, are you carrying Sam's water bottle on Sunday?
What amazes me is that if you go back 2 months ago to the offseason, everybody loved Sam Darnold. He was the franchise quarterback, all we had to look forward to. Yet 4 games with no wide receivers, bringing back Adam Gase, that's enough for everybody to jump ship and say he's a bust. I'm not doing that. I don't want
Sam is brainwashed by Gase. I mean, right now, some of the press conferences and the way that Sam talks about things, you almost see like Gase is telling him what to say, where he's and I think he's so respectful and wants to be a team guy that he kind of just goes with the flow. He doesn't want to cause a stink. He doesn't want to cause any problems or drama.
But that's also where I do want to see him kind of change that a little bit. He needs to, right? Jamal Adams called out Gase. Like, there's a way, I think, to command your teammates' respect while also keeping things like somewhat respectful, but also like pointing out what's really going on. Everybody sees through Adam Gase, so he wouldn't be saying anything that nobody doesn't like already know at this point.
What sucks about our team is there's no special player in a team opponents can game plan for. 1,000% true.
Yeah.
Like, you got to hope Mims becomes that guy, but on offense, there's not one player like, we got to double this guy.
No.
I mean, maybe Crowder, maybe if you want to stretch it a little bit. But that, I mean, there's nobody, dude. Now Crowder's hurt.
Yeah.
I agree. Sam needs some more intensity. I'm tired of this all shucks bullshit. This will be the week if you're gonna do it, man. Right? I mean, this is like this.
Yeah, I mean, he's getting his weapons back. He's got Becton up there. I know, Lewis and Fan are banged up, might not play, but yeah, he's got his wide receivers. Time to show something.
If I'm Becton's agent, no way in hell I'd let him play until he's 100% healthy. I agree. Back to him and Darnold. Like, the only thing you worry about is the Jets mishandle players, especially when it comes to injuries, and they rush these guys back out there because they're tired of getting embarrassed week in and week out. They want these guys to play. It's like their best chance to win. That is a legitimate concern, though. I completely agree with that one.
Yeah, that video of him, on the sidelines that Thursday night game where he's holding his shoulder, looking pissed off. Like, if I'm him, absolutely no chance do I go back out there until I'm 100%. Too much football in front of me.
Yep. I got to change our banner here, prime time. Start getting your score predictions in, too.
There we go.
We've done an hour and a half of this shit already. Time's just flying.
Wow. And I'm only 3 drinks down.
I haven't even refilled my one. You've been busy. So many comments. It's just crazy. Douglas is a Gase puppet. I mean, that's becoming more and more.
Seems like the longer he goes without addressing the media and answering for what's gone on this season, the more it's going to feel that way. Along with some of the moves that have been made, bringing in like Frank Gore and Kalen Ballage and those guys, like those are Adam Gase moves, at least on the surface. That's the way it seems. He didn't want Le'Veon Bell to begin with. They released him for nothing. It seems like these are a lot of Adam Gase type moves.
Say Sam plays okay, but has a really good connection with Mims. Do you still keep Sam? Okay, he's not good enough. Okay, you got to play well. Manage the game. Show good fundamentals, good situational awareness. Like, you can't just be like, well, he can't be mediocre right now, man. You got to give us a glimmer of hope. Like, what you're doing. You're progressing somewhere. Just a good connection with Mims is not enough. For me, at least. You need much more than that.
Yeah, I think he has to play better than okay. I just don't know what the ceiling should be given the system that he's working in and, what Adam Gase allows him to actually do. But yeah, he's got to play better. He's got to show some more leadership, some more intensity, stop making the rookie mistakes. Don't turn the ball over, throw it away when you need to. Don't force it into double coverage. A lot of little things like that he could absolutely clean up. And if he does that, you'd feel a little bit better about him going into next year. This
is the first week in a while where the Jets are healthy, finally able to truly grade Sam and Adam Gase. Listen, I agree. I mean, well, Sam, yes, Gase should have been evaluated this whole time because you got to be able to overcome adversity. You got to keep your team competitive. You got to keep your team with some life in it. They've been lifeless. They have not been competitive at all. They quit. Gase quits. That's on him. Like, I don't give him a pass, dude. I don't give him a pass for none of these games.
That's the sign of a good coach. When players go down, their system, can plug
Look at the rest of the NFL.
Yeah.
Like, some of these teams are decimated with injuries, dude. The 49ers, all these teams are decimated. And if they may be losing, they're ultra competitive, though. They're in every game.
Yep.
Can Primetime do the bingo on an Excel spreadsheet instead of scribbling it on a paper?
I could do that. I could do that.
The Jets bingo is getting important, man. We got to make this legitimate.
I'll do it on a spreadsheet just for you, man.
Open up that can at all times when you all start this show. We try, man. We try to. Let's see. Jets. Let me see. There's so many here. I'm trying not to repeat the same topics here. A lot of Trevor Lawrence stuff. I mean, we got to save some of this draft stuff for like the draft, like the end of the year and stuff. Right?
It's so hard to like talk about it now because you still don't know for a fact you're going to have the number 1 pick. You don't really know what Sam is yet, even though everybody thinks they know exactly what he is. I would just like to give him a chance over these 10 games. If he sucks, all right, cool. We're number 1 pick. You want to take Trevor Lawrence? New head coach wants to take Trevor Lawrence? Fine. But, right now, with everything that's gone against this kid, between, just the decisions that they've made around him, the coaching, all of it, not giving him any talent, you would think at least the fans would try to like be in his corner and say, you know what, we get what you're working with. We understand, but I don't know.
My dad's side, Seahawks fans. My mom's side are Ravens fans. Two good teams to cheer for. So family reunions are very depressing. Thanks to y'all and Jet Central for the stream. Well, Dylan, thank you, man. Like I said, I owe you a shirt. I have it packed up. I just didn't mail yet because I'm just been a little busy. But I mean, I'm in the same boat. My entire family's Giants fans and everything else. I'm like the one that sits in the corner, my head down all the time, like, oh, the Jets. Yeah. And then how many Christmas Eves have they lost? We always have Christmas, like the Italian side of my family. The Christmas Eve is like all the one big family. Yeah. And we'd all get together and like the Jets would lose on Christmas Eve. They lost to the Ravens. They lost to the Giants.
The Giants.
Oh, you go in there half like put a buzz on. You're just head down. You're pissed off. It's just no fun being a Jets fan, man. It's just not.
I had no choice. My dad, he worked at Shea Stadium in '69. Had season tickets, and I took over Mets Jets, and I've had no fun in my sports life since.
Yeah, I mean, don't worry, Cashman will be injured by the third quarter again.
Well, that was the knock on him coming out of the draft. That's why he fell so far. I mean, he's got talent.
We can put in the bingo sheet. Cashman gets hurt.
Yep, I'll add that one.
Let's see how long Ashton Davis stays healthy. Well, he's been healthy. He hasn't been playing though, right? You don't see him at all.
Nope. He's been on special teams.
What do you prefer, a Jets win or the number one pick? I mean, to beat Buffalo or not get the number one pick, I'd rather get the number one pick. I mean, I'd rather see if you're going to win 4 or 5 games and Sam's playing excellent. I wouldn't be opposed to that.
No, as long as Sam's out there and you win a couple games, that gives you something, to look forward to in the future. But, if Flacco's out there, that's completely different. So, for this week personally, you're rooting for the number one pick. I mean, you'd like to see Sam play well, but also, maybe the defense gives up 35 points and you lose that way.
How were the Jets 7-9 last year? Schedule. A very favorable schedule. That schedule helped them out big time, right? I mean, they play well. I mean, some of the games they play well, but the schedule just really, really just fell in their favor a lot of it.
Yeah, Duck Hodges, Matt Barkley. I mean, number of
Doug
games.
Peterson as next coach, if he gets let go, I could see him being a lock with the Eagles' connection with Douglas. Tell you what, Doug Peterson coached like shit last night. He's had some really bad games this year. He won a Super Bowl. He was known for his offense and everything else. His game management the last couple of times I watched has been fucking bad, man. Like Carson Wentz bailed him out with some big time throws last night, and Wentz wasn't even that good.
No,
Peterson. They have a shitload of injuries too. Bradley McNeil makes me sick. He should be benched. He's terrible.
Trade him back to Seattle. Jamal Adams hurt. Maybe they'll give up like a 7th rounder for him.
Yeah, I mean that's hell no. Beat Buffalo, screw the draft. It's a crapshoot. Well, number one pick's not. Right?
I just think having that number 1 overall pick gives you so many options going into the offseason. It also helps you potentially get that head coach. If you're sitting there with that number 1 pick, whether or not, your new head coach might want, Sam Darnold and build around him, or they're just, infatuated with Trevor Lawrence and they want him to start fresh. Like, I think that opens up some more possibilities for what you could do at head coach. So I think that's why so many people are rooting for that.
Tyson, you getting up early for the main card tomorrow? Well, I don't have to because the main card's at 2:00 tomorrow. But I will say this:
it starts at 2?
Yeah, it's there. They're in Abu Dhabi, so it's a 2:00 card tomorrow. So nice afternoon MMA fights, sick main card. But I will say this: if you have time, go watch the weigh-in for Khabib and see how he weighed in and see how much bullshit that was. Completely ridiculous. He didn't make weight, and they finagled the scale to make weight. He didn't make weight.
He needs to take off like the towel, right?
He was down to a towel to weigh in. But if you watch the minute he weighs in, the scale starts to move. The guy's like, "Oh, made good." And the only reason why I know it's not like I'm biased. Like I'm associated with certain schools. So we have fighters that are all in our school, and we all support them and everything else. But like guys like Eddie Alvarez, Mike Dolce, they are all like, "Dude, that's so bullshit. Like this is not legitimate." Like Khabib had a horrible weight cut. If he didn't make weight, it would have been a monumental loss of money here. They're making millions on this pay-per-view. This is a monumental fight everybody wants to see. The aftermath of who wins this fight is like either McGregor or Ferguson or whoever the hell is going to fight. Shady, man. I'm looking forward to the fight. I think it's going to be phenomenal, but that's the way, man. It was, that was questionable. You just go watch it and watch the comments, man. Like people that watch.
I saw the picture. I didn't see any of the.
Yeah, it reminds me of a few years ago when Daniel Cormier pulled that shit where he put his arm on the guy and he wouldn't have made weight either. So the UFC needs to make these big pay-per-views. They have a lot riding on it. So I think they threw him a solid there. For you guys that watch the UFC, if you don't, you probably don't care right now.
I'll probably throw some money on Khabib.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's a phenomenal card, man. There's some great fights coming up. I can't wait to see Conor and Dustin Poirier. I can't wait for that one too.
Yeah. Is that official now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's January. Corey Anderson making his Bellator debut. We can do all kinds of MMA, man. Get all kinds of shit going.
Let's talk MMA.
Let's talk MMA. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, get your score predictions in. Let's see. Kevin, what's your favorite college team?
You guys don't want to know my favorite college team. You don't want to know that.
USC. Stanford.
No, even worse. Even worse.
Every day.
Even worse.
Who is it?
It's not a Stanford hat. It's a Summit hat. But no, if I'm being honest, for the team that I rooted for as a kid in college, not that I follow them religiously or anything, but Florida State, for whatever reason, I loved their uniforms as a kid. Followed them. They were good when I was younger in the 90s. So yeah, that was my team. So I don't believe in changing teams as you get older. So that would have to still be my college team, even though I don't really follow them too much.
31-10 Bills. Top 5 for the Jets job. Top 5 coaches. Can we name them? I mean, we've done that a bunch. I mean, obviously, Bieniemy, Dable, Smith, all these coordinators. People mentioned Jim Harbaugh. I mean, any hot coordinator right now is going to be considered. That's any guy in offense. The veteran coaches we don't know because they're not available yet.
I'm just curious whether or not, Woody Johnson, Chris Johnson, whoever would actually open up the checkbook for a guy like Jim Harbaugh. If there was, any way at all that you could lure them to New York by, giving them a John Gruden type deal, 10 years, $100 million, would they consider that? Or, are we just going to look for, the Matt Rule type, the college ranked coach or
that keeps coming up.
Yeah, him too.
Yep. Greg Roman, Brian Schottenheimer. I don't think they'll ever hire Brian Schottenheimer.
I don't think so.
Let's see here. Any more predictions on here? Let's see. Okay, we'll go back to MMA. Khabib or Justin? Who you guys got? Yeah, prime time. You're the betting guy.
I got Khabib with the plus 190 odds for the submission.
It's fascinating because Gaethje's got some good wrestling, man. And Gaethje's got some pop. If Khabib tries this, because Khabib has a new sense of striking that he likes to strike and throw that he can throw down with guys. He did it with Conor. He likes to flex his muscles with that. If he stands with Gaethje, it's a terrible idea because Gaethje's just a beast, man. He's endless cardio, great stamina. I don't think it's gonna be as easy to wear him out like he does other opponents. It's a fascinating fight. I don't know, man.
I just can't see Gaethje finishing him, and so at some point, I think Khabib's going to get this fight on the ground, and I don't think Gaethje can keep up there.
The other thing too is there's a lot of things that happened out of the cage for Khabib too. His father passed away. He's got a lot tough weight cut. There's a lot of other things going there. Like you don't know. There's a lot of things you don't know. MMA is a crazy sport, man. Anything can happen, and Gaethje is so freaking explosive, man. It's definitely. I can't wait to watch it. To be honest with you. Bills 24-7, 37-10 Bills. Oof. Nobody really giving the Jets a shot here. Bills 35-10, 600 yards punting. A lot of Khabib fans. Oh, this is a great fight too. They announced that tonight. Leon Edwards and the other guy.
That's on the card now. Chimaev?
No, I think it's in December. That fight is badass. Okay. Man. There's some. The UFC has some just. Oof.
I was gonna say I've seen all of
Jets fucking UFC. Listen, man, we're asking the questions. We answer the questions we're given. Jeez. 30-3.
30 to -3. That's it.
Oh, -3. My bad. 31-10. What's the pay-per-view price for the main card tomorrow? I think it's $65. I'm not sure, but
I thought it was more than that.
It's been like 65 for a while, but maybe they changed it for this.
I always get the illegal stream. I'm the asshole that does that.
Yeah, I mean, I've been buying the last couple just to help support the fighters because I know it's just they're ticket sales, stuff like that. So
yeah.
The Jets go 0-9 the bye week. Will Gase be fired? We have the same conversation every day. Like I thought he should have been fired last. I mean,
listen, I'm not getting my hopes up for Gase to be fired midseason. Ralph Acciano, he had the report today that the Jets don't want to fire him midseason. They don't think anything's going to change by putting somebody else as the interim coach. So I just don't think they have any intention of doing anything midseason. And if they did, it would have happened, I think on the Thursday night game where he completely mishandled, the Becton and Darnold injuries. That was the perfect time to do it. They didn't do it. And, Douglas has not said a word. Chris Johnson's given him a vote of confidence. So I just don't think they have any plans to fire him midseason. Any
specific players you guys think they should trade? Anybody that has any value? If they can get value for anybody, chip them out. Like, I don't care.
At this
guys
point,
that aren't coming back next year. Like don't do what you did last year. Keep guys, then lose them, and not getting compensation for them. If they're definitely not coming back, away they go.
Yeah, at this point, you're in complete rebuild mode. It's a fire sale. So, yeah, anybody that has some kind of value, 5th, 6th round pick, whatever, you probably trade him.
Gore plus or minus 50 yards on Sunday.
That's a tough one. I'm probably going to go under. Not because I think P. Ryan's going to get a whole lot of carries, but because I think with, the weapons being back, I think this is probably the game where you start to air it out a little bit more. Let Sam, kind of sling it a little bit. But I don't know. Would it shock me if Frank Gore ended up with 20 carries? No, because that's just what
I think he'd have like 60 yards. Just came here to say sorry. You guys have been through the season. I appreciate it. It's not been easy, man. Talking to all you guys made it a lot easier, and having all these live streams and stuff, it's made it so much more fun. Let's Talk Jets Radio is way better than Boomer and Geo Snooze. Listen, I love that show. It's one of my favorite shows, like on terrestrial radio. I just hate when they cover certain topics they're not paying attention to, or they're being kind of pushed to talk certain narratives.
Yep.
Like some of their like arguments over like baseball and football, or baseball, basketball, like some of the hockey or some other stuff are really good. But when they talk about the Jets, man, it's just not. Lost. Yeah, it's not good.
I'm curious to see what's going to happen when Craig Carton comes back.
That should be Evan Roberts, right? They're going to be in
that official? I know Beningo's retiring. I don't think they made it official though with him.
Beningo should retire. He lost his fastball too. He's not.
Yep.
He's not in the same way he used to be.
No.
Over under 10 rushes for P. Ryan.
Ooh. I'm gonna say over.
Really?
I'm gonna say over.
All right. So then what we should do is for bingo, anything over every rush over 10 carries, you drink.
Ooh.
And then
okay. I'll do that. I'll do that.
Okay.
Just to get more drunk. Why not?
Yeah, why not? What the hell? Let's see. We'll do a couple more and wrap this up. We've this almost, Jesus Christ, almost 2 hours of this.
Jesus. Should
we trade for a certain player? Who? Julio Jones? I mean, who are you trading for? And what are you giving up? Like if you want to build through the draft, we have all the draft picks. Who are you giving away where it's justified? It's got to be a player that's gonna be a building block under contract for a long period of time, right?
Yeah.
Who would that be?
I mean, right now, if you were a competitive team, then yeah, you can make an argument. Hey, trade for Julio Jones and have a number 1 wideout for the next 2 to 3 years. But you're an 0-6 team. You're not trading for anybody like that.
Daniel, we did see this, and this fight is sick. And this is how fucked up the UFC is, though. The UFC negotiates through the media. And what they do is Leon Edwards wouldn't agree to bouts, wouldn't agree to a certain paycheck, so they take him out of the rankings. Like you don't want to fight. Like suppose when you retire, you come out of the rankings. They took him out of the rankings, dude. Then today they booked the fight. Boop, number 3. The UFC is such a joke, man. It is like with that. Like they have like so much power over their fighters in terms of trying to force them to take fights and all the paychecks. I hate that kind of shit, and that's why guys are going to Bellator. I don't blame them. Like guys like Corey Anderson, smart move.
Yep.
Go there, make all the money you can, and you get sponsors. Like when they go in the cage, you can put sponsors on their shirt, their shorts, on their banners. They can do that. The UFC, you can't do that. You have to go with Under Armour or Body Armor, the drink and the Reebok and all the other shit.
Is the money similar with like Bellator and UFC? Because I know there's like a lot of stuff out there with UFC not really paying fighters too much.
The lower card fighters, the UFC pays better. The higher tier guys, Bellator, you can make an argument you get better money because of the sponsors. You can get more sponsors.
Wow.
So it's offset. I mean, the UFC plays hardball certain things. It's ridiculous.
And that's odd. Like you would think like the UFC is like it's a growing sport right now. They're on ESPN all the time right now. You would think they would be like trying to, amp up like some of these, big time stars that they have and really get them out there in the public eye.
Guys, but they're always negotiating. That's why McGregor's smart, dude. McGregor plays hardball back with him. Like, fuck you. I knew I can draw millions and millions of dollars. I want my share.
Even Masvidal also. Yeah, he does the same shit.
Masvidal too. They all play it. Like even Poirier, he did the same thing.
Yep.
Tony Ferguson tried it. A lot of guys are trying it. Cejudo supposedly did the same thing. That's why he retired. He was getting the money he wants.
He'll be back.
John Jones did the same thing.
Yep.
So it's a change. And now Bellator has some money where they're spending it and getting some of these guys over there. So good for them. It's like a UFC show now. Favorite UFC fighter? Okay, prime time.
I don't know if I have a favorite. I mean, I love Khabib. I like Conor, just during the press conferences and everything. I don't think I really have a favorite guy though. I mean, growing up, I loved the Tough Enough series with Chuck Liddell and Tito. Like that was kind of like what drew me in initially. I was in high school during that. Like, yeah. So I loved all that, but I don't really have a favorite fighter.
Yeah, like going back, like Chuck, Randy Couture, BJ Penn, those are the ones that got me into it. Like I saw like Anderson Silva when he first started. Like they had a card in Philadelphia, BJ Penn and Anderson Silva. When Anderson Silva fought Forrest Griffin, BJ Penn fought, I think, Kenny Florian. Like that's how I got into it. And like I saw Chuck fight, which was amazing. Like those guys were the ones that got me into it. And now it's like got me. Connor, obviously, I think is great because he's good for the sport. But for me, it's not even like the higher name guys like Edson Barbosa and like Marlon Moraes, like two ridiculously great strikers. And then like we're home of Frank Yeager, man. How can you not like him? Like all he's done for the sport and how great he is. So yeah, it's pretty cool. And like we're just fortunate, like we train all these guys or train near all these guys, so it's pretty cool. Some more. There you go. Here's one for you, Primetime.
Oh.
Sam throws for minus 200 or more than 200 yards.
He'll throw for more than 200, I think. With all these weapons out there, and just the fact that we're a 10.5 point underdog, figure we're probably behind. We're going to need to throw the ball a little bit. He should ideally throw for over 200 yards.
All right, and then I guess what we'll do, we'll just go a couple more predictions here, and we'll give ours, and we can wrap this up because we're almost at 2 hours, which is supposed to be an hour show. What the hell happened?
I don't know. That's your fault.
Now we got like a whole UFC streaming going on here now. You guys see all these UFC comments here, and I can answer most of these questions, but
it's funny.
We'll just deal with that a different day when like the off season. Good night from Virginia. Thanks for joining us. All right, prime time. We're gonna get caught up in too much UFC stuff now. Let's see what's your prediction.
All right, so obviously a little bit concerned about the offensive line with Lewis and Fant banged up. I do like the fact that for the first time all year we should have Crowder, Perriman, and Mims all out there together. I think that should help Herndon as well. Defensively, you hope that they can learn a little bit from the week 1 matchup. I think there were plays to be made there. They forced Allen into 2 fumbles. They had opportunities to, get a couple sacks, stop the run a little bit. They just didn't tackle. They didn't make the plays, but they were there to make the plays. So I have a funny feeling this game is going to be a lot more competitive than some people think. The line started out at 13.5. It's already down to 10.5, which, I mean, that says there's a lot of money coming in on the Jets. So I have a strong feeling the Jets find a way to cover and that this is a 1-score game somehow in the fourth quarter, but I think the Bills are still going to win. So I'm going 27-24 Buffalo.
You bastard. I think the same thing, to be honest with you. I think like the Jets have been lifeless. They've been embarrassing. They've been pathetic. But getting back Becton and getting back Sam makes a big difference on and off the field. Leadership, explosiveness, just playmaking ability. It makes it. And like I think Becton is an emotional leader for these guys, dude. They all believe in him. Like, all right, we could run the ball behind him. We could protect Sam. I wish Fant was playing. I hope he does play. That's kind of a big blow. I think the Jets offense can do some things. I really do. And I don't know. I can't believe I'm saying it, but I just think that Sam has a lot to prove, and the kid has talent, man. And everybody, at some point, you get pushed against the wall, you start pushing back. Like, you know what? I'm tired of this shit. Like, I'm going to show everybody what I'm made of, either here or for somewhere else. So I think the offense is going to play pretty well. Unfortunately, the defense can't stop this team. Diggs and Gabe Davis and all these other guys out there, man. They just have too many weapons, and they know how to use them. They spread them around. They move them around, create a play calling. But I think it's not going to be a blowout. It's not going to be a laugher. I think it's going to be close. In the fourth quarter, it's going to be a game. We'll win like within 10 points, 13 points, something like that. Jets will score a garbage touchdown. God knows how. Who knows what they're going to do. I'm going to say like 28-17 Bills win. But I think it's going to be a game that we're at least going to enjoy watching and not like last week when we were bombed by halftime.
Yeah.
So
I'll take that.
And then, so just to clarify, my boy Nate Diaz, these guys, we can get to a UFC show.
I like Nate Diaz.
Nate Diaz is lined up for, he wants Conor again, but they're lining him up. There's some matchups with him they have lined up that would be badass, dude. Because he wants like big money fights, and Dana White's going to give it to him, but they're going to be like slugfest, dude, or even rematch Masvidal.
I was going to say, I'd like to see him and Masvidal again, because I think if that last fight would have gone to the 4th and 5th rounds, he might have had.
His cardio is second to none, man. He can take a punch, dude. He's tough as shit. This one. You guys like hockey? I mean,
Let's go Rangers.
I'm a Devils fan, so
Rangers are set up good. That's the one team I can look forward to right now. I don't got the Knicks, Mets, Jets. Rangers, the only thing I got.
Prime time, please practice shotguns. Beers are flying around out
Hold
there.
on. People don't realize how difficult it is to shotgun a fucking. You see this can, like the way it's. You can't shotgun this thing. It's like impossible. It's not like your traditional beer.
Come on, man.
It goes down different, man.
Come on, man. You know you do Adam Gase now, and then you have excuses.
Yeah, plenty of excuses. Absolutely.
You know what you have to do? You have to adapt. You have to adjust your play calling here. You gotta get better.
Gotta adjust my technique. Make a bigger hole.
These questions, dude. Maybe the Jets players would do better in UFC. Now they want to do it. They want Hour 3 to be a UFC show. Dude, I could do a UFC show. The thing, I mean, we could do. I mean, very easily do one.
We could do a live stream tomorrow. UFC.
Can you imagine? I mean, I'd be getting phone calls. You can't say this. Don't say that. You can't say this. What are you saying that for?
Yep.
Okay, here we go. Here's good. Mims debut game prediction this weekend.
I'm gonna go 5 targets, 4 catches for 55 yards.
I'm gonna go 3 catches, 35 yards. Which means let's see. My shotgun was great at practice.
that should have been my answer. It was great in practice, and then once the game started.
Just to prime time, are you going to misuse your beer cans as badly as Gase does running backs?
I'm just getting roasted here.
UFC shit. You know what the funny thing is? We upload this audio to Spreaker for like our radio show listeners. They're gonna be like, "What the fuck happened to the show?" They're talking UFC, they're talking drinking, they're talking hockey. We've covered everything tonight. So
this is what happens when we go 2 hours.
Yeah, we just gotta watch the film. So thank you guys for joining us. We definitely appreciate it. We'll be back Sunday, 10 minutes before the game. We'll live stream. We'll do a post-game show. Unless something happens tomorrow, we'll do a show tomorrow. But that's it. We'll see you guys on Sunday.
Talk to you guys then.